Good evening. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Monday, August 8th. God, if y'all could have been a fly on the wall for what Lloyd just said to us right before the show started. This is I think that's the new thing. That's the last thing he says, something to make everybody laugh, get everybody in a good mood. Like I said, today is Monday, August 8th. Welcome back from the weekend. We had a great weekend. Hopefully y'all had one too. You're watching Mik'd Up. We're brought to you by Sterling Automotive. We have a jam-packed show today, and we have to make it up for you because we had a little bit of a debacle on Wednesday last week. That's okay. A lot of travel came in, tried to make it happen. And look, testament to all the people and all of our fans, all the people that follow us and listen to us and watch us. Y'all still showed out. We have some good traction, some good views on the video. It wasn't the quality video that we like to give out, a quality show, but hey, things happen. Technology happens. Today we're going to make it up for you. Huge show. We have two guests. Paul Skenes, who was supposed to come in last Wednesday, was coming in now today on Monday at 7:15. Before him at 6:10, we have Steve Tasker. If you don't know who Steve Tasker is, he is awesome. Look him up. Look him up because this guy is awesome. He is a former Pro Bowler from the Buffalo Bills. He is a media personality. Seven-time Pro Bowler from the Buffalo Bills. Little wide receiver. He was an absolute rocket ship on the kickoff team. 7 block punts. Like, this guy is an all-timer. He's a perfect fit in with Bills Mafia. He knows a lot about football. Thankful for our partnership with Caesars. That was a tongue twister. They got him on our show. He's been so gracious with his time to come on. I'm looking forward to talking to him, talk about the Bills, talk about Tre'Davious White, talk a little bit about Kyle Williams, get some LSU spins in there, talk about the NFL as a whole, because whether you want to believe it or not, and I think most of y'all want to believe it, football is here.
Football is here.
Preseason games start again on Thursday. Hall of Fame game was kind of a little bit of a dress rehearsal. Wouldn't call that a full-blown football game. It was a little bit of like, it was JV, I think. It was a lot. They just got to camp.
Josh Jacobs played.
That's a whole different topic we're going to get into. Like, that's I don't know what they believe that's happening with him.
Senior on JV. Like, coach, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's a tough
might have been a little punishment.
Tough situation. Punishment for what?
Who knows?
This wire thing is coming out of my pants.
It's like an umbilical cord.
I don't love it. That's not how it works. That. But I don't know how this is going to work, so I'm just going to sit down. How about that?
Okay, we'll bring you back down.
Sit down. Bring me back down. Bring me back down.
You're okay, girl.
But we'll talk into that. I don't know why he's playing. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if what he did to make somebody mad. But he did something because he's playing. But he looked good when he ran a little. I mean, he didn't look bad. But football season's here. All the preseason games are going to be underway by Thursday this weekend. And, most teams only play 3. The guys who played in the Hall of Fame game play 4. But it's here.
How much do you love that field, too? Just 3 preseason games.
I am very excited about it. Very excited about it. Because you don't have to, because the 4th preseason game, nobody plays anymore.
No.
So
that means there's only going to be 2 of them that they're playing now. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's, hey, listen, nobody likes preseason. Aaron Rodgers always talks about how shitty preseason is. Yeah. You don't need preseason.
Well, he's still tripping when preseason's going on.
Wow. Boy, he is not scared to come out now and just saying what he likes to do, huh?
I guess it's not on the drug test list. Ayahuasca.
I don't think that stuff doesn't show up on drug tests.
No, I know.
I know you know.
But I learned it from Todd Marinovich. He used to. Do you remember the Robo quarterback where his dad, Oakland Raiders' first ever strength and conditioning coordinator, would raise him to be like this whatever quarterback, and he's like he couldn't smoke weed anymore when he got to the league. Couldn't smoke weed in college. He's like, I just started taking mushrooms and LSD because you couldn't test for it, and so he was out there tripping.
Can you imagine?
6 tuds.
I mean, that's great. Can you imagine tripping on mushrooms, playing quarterback at the highest level?
I just would love. I don't understand how the mind was able to process what was going on in front of him.
It was at that much higher level. He was seeing it before
it
happened.
He was. Predict the future.
Yeah.
Predict the future. It's not only NFL season; it's college football season. LSU is almost a week into fall camp. Brian Kelly came out and said, "You're not going to start seeing separation until about 7 to 10 days into camp. We're almost at that threshold. You're starting to see them ramp it up a little bit. It's going to be I'm going to be anxious to see. I know everybody's going to be anxious to see. That's the biggest storyline going to camp. I know they're getting a million questions, a million different ways. Hey, who's the quarterback going to be? Hey, so after today, like, what quarterbacks do you think separated themselves?
Oh, no, it's like, what do you look for in your quarterback? What's a big no-no in your quarterback?
They
It's
are
like,
asking
good
and
God.
trying
they want
to
everything.
figure out how to ask who the quarterback is going to be and however many different ways they can ask it
Yeah,
to be.
they're going to poke it
And
as
obviously,
much as they can.
these guys are experienced and they know what they're doing. And they're not going to give the answer. So we'll see. Shelton Sampson committed to LSU, 5-star out of Catholic High, committed at Catholic High on the Jordy Collada show, which is great for all of FM digital media. And Shelton, what?
It didn't go as smoothly
Ah,
as we'd
but look-
liked.
Listen, technology, we're there, showing that you could do it.
People not aware of surroundings also.
Yeah, that happened too. I'm not. If I'm a parent watching that, I'm not so impressed with the Catholic High brand after that. A lot of people running around not really knowing what's going on. But
Well,
that's
maybe
okay.
the next,
If I'm a
That's
parent.
okay.
maybe the next commitment that is happening. I don't know where it's going, where he's committing to. I mean, I think people can.
Read between the lines.
Yeah, Ricky Collins is committing Wednesday on the Jordy Collada show, which means the Mik'd show, which is normally from 6 to 8, is going to be 5 to 7 p.m. Ricky Collins is committing at 7 o'clock p.m. on Wednesday. So we're moving our show up an hour so that we can give you the programming and the content that you've grown accustomed to. Floyd will not be producing our show because he will be on the road. I know he's disappointed in that, but things you got to do. Things you got to do to
Company man.
to make the world go round. Before we really dive into all the football stuff and we get into Steve Tasker, who's coming on in 3 minutes, which is awesome. Let's some housekeeping notes in the baseball world. Landon Marcel, I'm giving you the cliff notes before we start talking baseball. Landon Marcel gets called up to AA. He's been shoving in high A, so he's making his way up. He got drafted in 2021. He's on the fast track, obviously. You have Michael Papierski, first career home run. Congratulations to Michael Papierski. It's always nice to get the first one out the way. He's playing for the Reds. He's getting a very, very good opportunity over there to play a lot on a team that's not very good, and he's getting some valuable experience. So kudos, shout out to him. Our boy, Kevin Gausman, AL
Back in the hot
Player
seat.
of the Week.
Back in the hot
Verlanders.
I was looking at, I put a future in. I was looking at his numbers, and I was like, man, he has a 2.9 something ERA now.
Until you looked at what?
I was like, he's gonna get he's right back into the mix to win the Cy Young. No. Verlander's got a 1.8 ERA.
Verlander's due. He's got to have at least like 2 back-to-back, like not great story. They got to.
I mean, you would assume, right? He's got a 1.8 ERA. You have Manoah, who is a teammate to Gosman's, got a 2.4 ERA. You have McClanahan from Tampa's got a 2.2 ERA. Like, listen, I'm not saying it's not happening. I would like for it to happen. My bank account would like for it to happen. But he's got a little ways to go. He needs some help. He keeps pitching like he's pitching.
The truth of it is he needs some help.
Yeah, he just needs him not to pitch well. He needs to have a couple bad starts.
Yeah.
And the Blue Jays need to make a nice little run to the postseason.
So they need to make a run, but his teammate needs to not.
No. He keeps pitching well, and like his teammate maybe has a couple starts. He slips up, and like they're similar, maybe. But Verlander's he's got a long way to go to catch Verlander.
I'd say this about the teammate thing. If they go down the stretch and it's every time that Kevin goes out there, it's absolute shove, and the teammate throws good but not great, and they end up elevating their playoff spot, I think Kevin kind of, no matter what the numbers end up being, I think he might push himself ahead of him.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we don't know. Obviously, winning takes precedent, and if you win, you get more attention. You pitch well, you get more attention. We'll see what happens. I'm praying that he does it because I have some. Not only is he one of my best friends, but it's because I have money on him doing it, which helps me. Speaking of money, our friends at Caesars have given us 4 tickets to the LSU Florida State game in New Orleans, right? And we've started promoting this. We've started telling you what to do. You have to download the Caesars app, use the promo code MMLSU15, and make a bet. You have to make a bet on something. Go ahead and make a bet on that game. I think the line's 3 or
Yeah.
2.5.
It's 3. Buy it down.
Don't listen to Lloyd about buying points. We have an expert in here talking gambling. He said, "Don't buy points. Ever buy points."
He said there's time and a place for it. Don't do it every game.
No, there's not.
That's what I
Literally,
heard.
Lloyd advises
There's
this
not
on
a time and
every
place.
time he actually bets on this. So I don't think that's the
3
time.
is a number that you want to stay away from. So just go ahead and get that 2.5. Win by a
Where's
field
the money
goal and
line?
you're
Anyway,
happy.
if you want to bet and you want to make money, use MMLSU15 with the promo code after you download the Caesar Sportsbook app. Make the bet. It's risk-free up to $1,500, which is great. We've explained that to you
Ad nauseum.
a lot at nauseum. I was actually thinking that at nauseum, but I will explain to you again. If you want to make a bet, your first initial bet after using the promo code, if you bet up to $1,500 is risk-free, which means let's say you bet $1,500 on LSU to win or LSU at -3, and they cover -3, then you go ahead, you win, you get all that money, and you don't have to worry about anything. Let's say you lose. You bet $1,500 and you lose, and LSU only wins by 2 points, and you don't cover the spread. Well, your $1,500 stays into your account in the form of betting credits. So you don't necessarily lose the money. You don't get to cash it out, but you still get to bet and make money off of that. That's the risk-free bet. Use it. MMLSU15 if you want 4 tickets to the LSU Florida State game in New Orleans. We will be there. We'll have some content going on with the show. We're trying to have a pregame show, but there's a lot of red tape to go through, so we didn't get that.
Tasker, we got you.
Steve Tasker is in the waiting room. So maybe not in the waiting room.
His thumb's on the button. No, he's here.
He's in the waiting room.
The task
All right,
man.
We're gonna take a 30-second break, get Ruth set up, get Steve Tasker in here, introduce him, and have a great, fun, awesome conversation. You're watching Mik'd, brought to you by Sterling Automotive. Today's show is brought to you by Dos Equis. Here in Louisiana, we like to have a great time. If you're looking to be the life of the tailgate, check out Dos Equis mini kegs. Hold 16 beers, easy to tap, easy to pour, easy to chill. Check it out. Become the life of the party. You're welcome.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just trying to get set up. I'm in liking.
Mik'd Up is brought to you by Law Offices of Lance Beal. Call them today, 337-991-6263. They know what it takes to win. Their practice areas include personal injury, small business, family law, estate planning, with an emphasis in construction law. Your choice for reliable representation. 337-991-6263. Our What's for Lunch segment is brought to you by Doe's Eat Place. Maybe the best burger in town. If you're not looking for lunch, you're looking for dinner, go check out Doe's Eat Place. They have unbelievable choice of meats. They have unbelievable tamales. They have a great atmosphere, great vibes. If you're looking for a homey Louisiana type of atmosphere, but you're looking for high quality food, Doe's Eat Place is your spot. Go in the back bar, sit at the bar, have a couple drinks, watch some games, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the vibes. Check out Doe's Eat Place, the best place in Baton Rouge to get your meats. Well,
Shot in the dark.
we're back?
Yes.
All right, welcome back to Mik'd Up. We're brought to you by Sterling Automotive. Again, technology is great.
He looks good.
It's awesome. We love technology. We love the internet, and it's working very, very well. So we're excited. We're excited to introduce 7-time Pro Bowler of the Buffalo Bills, media personality Steve Tasker. Steve, I appreciate you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate you.
Hey, so you were a rocket ship, huh? You come on kickoff team and you were just blow people up. I don't think people realize how scary one and how hard that is to do. So I watched, obviously I was younger when you were coming up and you were doing all of it, but I remember and everybody would talk about it and they're like, hey, if you want to see what a football player is, go watch Steve Tasker. I'm like, damn, this guy's a rocket ship.
Well, that's nice of you to say. It was fun while it lasted, I'll say that. And I got a chance to play with some great guys on some great teams. It was a blast. It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, well, you got to enjoy it while it happens because at some point it's going to always come to an end. That's a perfect segue. You were on some unbelievable Buffalo Bills teams. The high time of the Buffalo Bills, 4 straight AFC championships. Obviously you get to the Super Bowl 4 straight years and, you don't get over the hump and win it. How exciting was it for you to play in that era, in that time, and how awesome was the Bills Mafia at that time?
It was great. In fact, I think, putting in context of how it is now, it's even, I think, more so, more exciting now than it was then because of social media. The internet, with the Buffalo Bills and Bills Mafia and all that stuff, it's even more exciting now. And I think there's more people on board with that team now than it was then because of social media, the way the team was. It was a big drought for leading up to this Sean McDermott era, and then the fact that they draft Josh and now he's an MVP candidate. There's so much to be excited about. Plus, it's so much easier for fans to interact with their own kind, with their own, fans of their own team. So because of the social media and how big the NFL has grown into, I think it's even more exciting now for this team than it was for that team that went to 4 straight Super Bowls.
And I was going to ask that, do you see a lot of similarities between the teams now and kind of how they're building the team now and the teams that you played for? Because obviously you play with Jim Kelly and you have Josh Allen there and you have an exciting offense and you have a quarterback who you feel like, man, just get this guy the ball and we're going to win. Do you see a lot of similarities between the era that you were playing and the era that's happening right now in Buffalo?
Well, the game has evolved, no question about it. It's a little bit different game. But, the Bills back then and with the K-gun offense, they started it with – they were one of the first teams to go almost full-time.
No huddle.
Complete full-time, 3 wide, 1 tight end, 1 back, which is what a lot of teams do now. They went 11 personnel a lot, more so than anybody in the league, and they ran the football well out of that formation, out of that personnel grouping, and that sets them apart and put them out ahead of the curve at that point. But now all the teams are doing that. But I think, building the team, I think the thing to do now is they build the team with the same priorities in mind. You want to get the right kind of guy, the guys that fit your system, the guys that will play well together, the guys that can be good teammates, and then try and find a bunch of them. How they do that is a little bit the same now. How they find them is a little bit more thorough. I think they have a much better handle on the guys they're getting in the draft, a much better handle on the kind of players they're getting. I think college football is turning out much more polished, skilled players than they ever have before because you're getting a generation of players that have grown up playing 7-on-7 games, and both offensively and defensively. So you get some guys with some polished skills coming out of the college ranks very quickly. Throwing is getting more prevalent at the lower levels of football, so you get guys coming in more prepared to play a pro-type game. So all of those things go into building a team these days, and I think year after year in this draft, you see awesome wide receivers being drafted, guys that can come in and contribute right away, skilled players all over the place that can come in and contribute right away. And that was not the case back in the day.
NFL is such a hard league. It's a deep league. It's an extremely talented league. It's a hard league to win. It's a hard league to have sustained success in. The Buffalo Bills, 10 years ago, weren't a team they didn't have a target on the back. Now they do. They're one of the top. They're probably the favorite in the AFC coming into this season. What are some of the things going into preseason football, into the beginning of the season that you would like to see, the fans would like to see, and things that they're looking forward to seeing, the Bills I guess, progress from what they did last year?
Yeah, I think they would love to see the team just pick up where it left off. I mean, that last game, the Bills in Kansas, people are still talking about it. I grew up in Kansas with my wife and I both were kids in Kansas. My family lives back there. Her family lives back there. And I went back, and all people could talk about was that Kansas City-Buffalo game in the divisional round and how it ended up. And, the 13 seconds left, and Bills didn't win it, and Chiefs won the coin toss in overtime. That was all she wrote. I mean, all that stuff. I mean, those are the kind of games that make the league and make fans clamor for rule changes.
Yep.
I think that's kind of silly on one point, because really the only thing people want is more of that same kind of – they want to see that game go on and on. They don't want to see anybody win.
Right.
They want to see it just keep guys keep playing. That's what we're looking for, right? So really this preseason, what the Bills are looking at and fans are looking at, they just hope the Bills can pick up right where they left off. Now, I don't think that's realistic. There are too many pieces that have changed. The offensive coordinator's changed. The quarterback coach has changed. You've got weapons that are going to change. Cole Beasley's not on the team now. You've got guys that have moved on. Emmanuel Sanders is out of the picture now. If Isaiah McKenzie's going to move into the slot, or Jamison Crowder's going to move into the slot. They got new draft picks. James Cook, the rookie out of Georgia's on the squad. Devin Singletary's finished last season on a tear. Is he going to pick up where he left off? The offensive line has been revamped. There's a lot of question marks for this team. Now, one question mark that's not there is the guy taking snaps is going to be the guy. Josh is going to be there. He's taking snaps. He's going to get everybody together. And they feel like, with just raw talent from that standpoint, that they've upgraded on a number of places, not the least of which defensive end, where Von Miller happens to be on a Buffalo Bills uniform.
Yeah.
So, all that stuff together, people want to see this team take off fast. I don't know if that's realistic. We'll see. But certainly by the end of the season, they want to see a contender, and there's every reason to believe it's going to be there.
You mentioned being from Kansas City, but I feel like you've kind of, reading your story and know kind of what you're about and how your play style was, you're kind of almost an adopted son of Buffalo, and I know that kind of means a lot to you, seeing how they kind of swarmed around you. Take me to kind of maybe a Super Bowl contender that Buffalo might have to play, because LSU did the same thing where we're from with Joe Burrow, and how that kind of relationship happens almost, it feels like overnight, where it's like, oh man, I feel like I'm ingrained in this culture even though I'm not from here.
Right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Buffalo's really adopted me. I've been here. My wife and I moved up here as newlyweds, and we have 5 kids and we have grandkids up here. I mean, we're entrenched.
Right.
All born in Zubas pants.
That's right. Embraces people when they come up. We love the town. We love the people. They've treated us extremely well, and you can bet that they are putting their arms around these guys too. These new players. It's a city that is hungry for a championship. They've been in the Stanley Cup Finals a couple of times. They've been to the Super Bowl, obviously, 4 times, been deep into the NFL playoffs a bunch of times. But it's a city that wants a championship for its team. And the teams feel a real relationship with the town, too. It's a medium-sized city. The fans are blue-collar at their roots, but the atmosphere around the Bills fan base is a little different than others, maybe, because Bills fans seem to have a level of affection, not just for their team, but also for other Bills fans. Yep. Because it was so difficult for an entire generation to love this team because they couldn't get to the playoffs, couldn't get out of the mediocrity, and you just kind of had to commiserate together. Now that they've got Josh Allen, Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane, Steph Diggs, Von Miller, this whole crew, they kind of are enjoying it together. So it really is this Bills Mafia. This Mafia means family kind of atmosphere where the team, the coaches, the front office, and the fans are all in it together. It's pretty cool to see.
You mentioned the Bills Mafia, and I have 2 words, 1 name, and I'm going to say Pinto Ron. Go.
And condiments, right?
Yeah, ketchup and mustard man.
That's the guy. That was just one of them. There's also the started jumping through tables a little bit, back. That's still going on. You got guys doing shots out of bowling balls. Yeah, you've got the chefs, 2 guys that come out and they cook for people who just come by. You got Bills Mafia people who weekly go out on social media and just give tickets away and go to the game with the people they don't know.
Oh,
they
awesome.
give them game with them. They invite them to the tailgate and they just make new friends that way. the Bills Mafia, that when the drought was over, when Andy Dalton threw to Tyler Boyd a touchdown against the Baltimore Ravens that put the Ravens out of the playoffs and put the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs for the first time in 17 years, where the Bills Mafia fan base started donating $14, 17 years. They made $17 donations to Andy Dalton of the Cincinnati Bengals charity.
That's awesome.
Up to the tune of $500,000. They did the same thing for Tyler Boyd's charity. They did the same thing for Lamar Jackson. They played Lamar Jackson in the playoffs in 2020 and beat the Baltimore Ravens 17-3. And in that game, late in the fourth quarter, Lamar got a concussion. As a result of that, the Bills Mafia donated $8 increment. I think it was $8 donations for Lamar's jersey number to the tune of six figures to his backpack program. So they're a charity-driven organization, charity-driven fan base. They also love their rituals like squirting mustard shot out of bowling balls and jumping through flaming tables. Yeah, it's a unique group, and it's been a lot of fun to be a part of it.
Steve, so you talk about the season that they had last year and the way the season ended. I think it was pretty well documented the way the running game went last year. With Devin Singletary having a strong end of the year last year, they go out and draft James Cook. How do you see that backfield situation playing out this year?
Well, I think Devin Cook's going to be the lead dog from what happened at the end of last year, but it was only until the end of the year when they started getting some mileage out of their run game. It was a problem for them throughout the first two-thirds or at least half of the season before Devin Singletary took control of the backfield. Now they also drafted James Cook, who is a little more of the Alvin Kamara type of running back, a little more threat in the passing game, a guy they can split out, a guy they can put in the backfield, run routes out of the backfield, split out into the slot, split out at wide to the boundary, put him in a cluster formation. He can run routes and beat defensive backs with his routes. He can also take handoffs in the backfield. So I think the way the season will start, I think Devin Singletary, no question, will be the guy on opening day when they first line up offensively. But I do believe that James Cook will have a role in that offense from day one on Thursday night against the Rams. And I think, and it's my gut feeling, that he's going to expand that role as the season goes along. I think his physical traits are going to command that he gets on the field more and more, and the more the coaches trust him as this season rolls on.
A lot of people talk about how good the offense is and how good the offense can be. I think people overlook how good the defense is, and I think the secondary especially, because they're one of the best secondaries in the country. I mean, in the league. And one of the guys that anchors that secondary is obviously guys that everyone in Baton Rouge watches and follows and has kind of been an adopted Bills fan, and that's Tre'Davious White. How important has he been to the secondary? Because having a lockdown corner is, especially now, the NFL now is so important.
He's a hell of a goalie.
Well, he's been huge since day one. He's been a starter, and he had and of course they were in New Orleans last year where he got the non-contact ACL. They have said he has been on schedule to get back in the lineup. We don't know what that schedule is, however.
Right.
He is on schedule to be back at some point this year, no question. And for those of you who know him at LSU and have seen him play in Louisiana, he's going to do everything he can to get back on the field, and he's going to be great when he gets there. We don't know exactly when that's going to be. As of now in training camp, he hasn't even put on a jersey yet. But he looks fantastic.
He looks good. That's the first step.
Eye test.
I mean, I wish I had that problem with I wish I had a bad ACL and I looked like he did, right? So
no doubt.
He's going to be, when he does come back, he's going to be great. But you're right. The secondary for the Bills has been stellar. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, who was an all-pro safety last year. And they also drafted Kaiir Elam, and some LSU fans will know him from Florida. He's the corner from Florida. Very good player, real athlete. They've also got guys from a year ago, Dane Jackson, Cam Lewis. They drafted Benford, a kid out of Villanova who has really surprised a lot of people in camp. So they're neck deep in secondary players who can really go. Plus, they upgraded their front seven, too. Now, one of the things, their defense was ranked number one last year in a ton of categories. Scoring defense, passing defense, yards against, defense, everything in a lot, 7 different categories. They were number 1 in the National Football League and number 1 overall. But they did get a lot of breaks with an easy schedule last year. It looked like it was going to be a tough schedule. It did not turn out that way. They ran into New Orleans, the Saints, on the week they lost Jameis Winston.
Right.
So they got the backup. They got a backup. They got a backup in Denver. They got a backup in Carolina. They got a ton of backup quarterbacks last year. So they really never they got Washington's backup after Fitzpatrick went down. So they got a ton of quarterbacks that were not ready to play. Even one of the games against Miami, Tua didn't finish the second series of the game. He was out. So they had Jacoby Brissett. So there was a ton of breaks they got playing quarterbacks last year, and they made hay with it, no question about it. But they feel like their defense we've been talking about a lot up here. We think their defense will be markedly better than it was a year ago, but it may not be ranked as high as number 1 like it was last year. They'll be better, a better defense, more dynamic, more playmaking, more sacks, more turnovers, but they may be ranked lower than they were last year where they were number 1. But there's no question a lot of people have high expectations for this defense.
That actually brings me to my next point because you talk about how talented, how deep offenses are and the quarterbacks, and obviously there's been a lot of quarterbacks that have played in the NFL that have been really good. A lot of great quarterback errors. As far as young talent right now in the NFL in the quarterback position, is this the deepest it has been? I mean, at least as long as I can remember. And I'm not as old as a lot of other people, but my 33 years watching football, like this has to be the deepest young quarterback talent I've seen in the NFL.
Yeah, there's a ton of Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert out in San Diego or L.A., Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, Tua Tagovailoa, Mac Jones. You even got Davis Mills down in Houston, who surprised a lot of people. You've got Deshaun Watson. Just go down the list.
Yep.
Let alone Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold down in Carolina, along with the old guys like Matt Stafford and Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady's still banging around. I think it's really the deepest crop of quarterbacks, quality quarterbacks we've ever seen in the NFL. There may be single-digit teams who are not willing to go into the season with the guy they have at quarterback and be ready to win games. I think it's really that deep, and I don't think we've seen that, and not in my lifetime. There's just a lot of guys, and these last couple of drafts, certainly with the emergence of Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, this last young crew coming out, I think you're right. Particularly in the AFC now with Matt Ryan coming over, with Russ Wilson coming over. Those 2 guys I haven't even mentioned yet. They're now in the AFC, and in addition to all those young guys. So it's going to be a dogfight in the AFC and overall in the NFL for the best quarterback. That's going to be a tough race.
Absolutely. Steve, I appreciate all your time. I think we have 1 or 2 more questions if you don't mind, and then we'll let you go. I appreciate this.
Oh, go ahead.
Sure.
Okay, first place, obviously Buffalo is known for their buffalo wings.
Obviously this is the funny guy. This is the guy who wants to break it off.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I've heard of a couple of spots in Buffalo that you're supposed to go, and I wanted to see if I say wing nuts, you say what?
Bills fans.
Absolutely. That's what I want to know. I want to know the best place in Buffalo.
I've been to Buffalo a few times. I enjoy Buffalo.
I do too. Good food there.
Yes,
I like it.
But is that the best spot?
Is what that? Oh, the best wing nuts? Is that a wing place?
Oh, it must not be. Yes, absolutely it is.
No, wing nuts is not a wing place. The Barville is the best wing place, followed by the 911 Tavern.
This is what I wanted to get to.
And then you can toss it up to a couple of different places. Duff's has got good chicken wings. Of course, the Anchor Bar, who invented the chicken wing, is still in town as well with a couple of locations. So yeah, you can get some good wings out here.
Go-to wing order.
Go-to wing order, probably honey butter barbecue at the Barville.
That sounds awesome.
How many?
That sounds awesome.
Wings or flats?
Dude.
Oh, flats. Flats.
Great conversation.
That's the easiest one to eat, the flats. I think.
Drumsticks are not. Yeah, flats are better than the drumsticks.
I agree. Steve, I appreciate you, and I can keep you much longer. Looking forward to football season. I think everybody is. You have a question?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, no question. I know everybody's looking forward to the NFL football season. I am actually a closet Bills fan just from the way they play. I like Josh Allen. I like Tre'Davious White. And so I appreciate you coming on. Hopefully we can get you on during the middle of the season.
Hey, no problem, guys. Anytime. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Later. God, I wanted to ask about Jim Kelly's basement.
You went to the wing. You went the wing route, not the Jim Kelly basement route.
I know, but I feel like it's.
I felt bad. It was like he was 20 minutes on, like
Yeah, but
he seemed like people were in the background.
Yeah, somebody just needed their phone.
Yeah.
No, he started at 10. He didn't start till 15. So 20
there was a million other things we could have asked him just now. Like there's just so much.
Well, he went the wing route.
Well, I know he went the wing route.
Well, it felt like we were.
And
done.
you went with a wing nuts that wasn't even there.
He got away from. I don't know if y'all noticed that he got away from speaking about the four trips in a row to the Super Bowl that were not good.
Yeah,
those hurt.
Yeah,
you could tell he was like,
yeah,
we're not doing this right now.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's very
Dude, he rattled off those wing places. Don't act like he didn't know.
Hey, they have. I mean, I've been to a couple of those places he set up there, and they are fire wings.
Sneaky favorite food, maybe chicken wing.
I love a good chicken wing, and I like
hard to not like
the traditional wings, obviously.
Honey butter, whatever he said.
Honey butter barbecue. I think.
Yeah, honey butter barbecue.
That sounds like it needs to be in a bottle somewhere, and I can buy it.
Honey butter barbecue
with the buddy on the side.
With the yeah, our buddy Steve.
Sounds good. Steve was great.
Flats only.
Steve was great. I have always, not say always, like over the last, like since they got Josh Allen, I've been becoming a Bills fan.
I used to just love how it was it felt like it was year in and year out. Kyle Williams was an all pro there, and like you just never heard anything about it.
Yeah, I know. We wanted to ask about Kyle.
Like I do love how that was a thing for a long time too.
I don't know why I kept fumbling over my words.
I know. I feel like I needed to help you out there.
What's my deal today?
You got real excited. Probably because video calls work. So you're like, oh, let's get back into this.
Yeah, I think that was it. I don't know what was going on. It's Monday. Getting the Mondays out of my mouth. I don't know what's going on.
Speaking of the Mondays, that's another not my fault coming up later on me. Wolf. Overdosed myself on accident.
Oof. Oof. Those are tough days.
Buddy, you don't know the half of it.
You're zooming?
No, other way.
Oh.
Not even that way. Just a
Sleepwalking?
totally different vibe
tough.
that I did not want at all. But we're here.
You know the vibe I didn't want is the fumble over words. I'm very mad at myself.
Well, it's
It's
your
okay,
first
it's
interview in
part
a
of it.
while.
Huh?
First interview in a while.
Is it? It is. Fumble.
You know the vibe I didn't want? This preseason poll I just saw came out. That's tough.
For LSU football?
Yeah, it's tough.
Listen.
I have so many problems with that poll.
I have a lot of problems with it. I kind of like it.
Yeah, see, I don't.
I like it. I like that.
Okay.
I like that we're not in the.
No. Well, I mean, yeah, but here's my thing when you say like that you're not ranked. So like I look at it, I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, Pitt's at 16. Pitt did just lose the Biletnikoff winner. They did just lose their quarterback. How on earth are they still up there? Like, there's no way you expect that team to be that good.
Yeah, I mean, look, I agree with you. I think that
at 4?
Huh?
Clemson at 4?
So first off, here's when it comes
Notre
to LSU.
Dame's at 5?
Hey, the truth of it is this: when it comes to
That's not
LSU,
surprising to me because they kept their coordinators.
Listen,
Kentucky at 21. They're supposed to be good.
when it comes to LSU, I don't really look at. I think they belong in there somewhere. But at the end of the day, if you take care of the schedule that you have here, you'll be there in the end. So that's not really that big of a thing. But when I'm seeing some of these teams that are in here and how high they are, I'm like, man, what? That's what we're going with?
Yeah, see,
we got Kentucky at 21, but Pitt's at 16.
Who's the quarterback that transferred from Oklahoma to
both
USC?
both of them left.
To where?
Caleb
USC.
Williams went to
Caleb
USC.
Williams.
Caleb Williams. Is Caleb Williams that good? Like, I know he's good, but to put USC at the top 15.
They also got the Biletnikoff winner.
Oh, I guess that's true.
They
I
both
guess you
went
had
there.
the combination
Yeah,
of
those two
that.
guys went
And
there.
you have
And they took a running back.
And you have
But
Lincoln
I mean, I
Riley.
don't mean, and like I said, I don't mean,
okay.
I don't mean to harp on Pitt, but my point is like Pitt's there, and Kentucky has a quarterback who's supposed to be a top 5 quarterback still there this year again, and they're 5 slots under Pitt.
OU's got a lot of question marks to be 9. OU.
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
Who lost pretty much everything.
everything.
They
Lost their coach
They lost the
and
quarterback.
their
They lost the
quarterback.
backup quarterback. They lost the
Coach.
top receiver. They lost the coach. 9. Timeout.
They also just lost another assistant coach.
Yeah,
Just lost
on a
another
little
assistant.
bit of a
Well,
debacle.
yeah, that's
He Ron Burgundied himself.
Yeah,
that's a tough
but
one.
there's There's some things I don't know. There's some story, part of that story that doesn't really make sense to me. You know what I mean? But
Quick, that's an
The
easy
Oregon
way to
at
get
the
somebody
12
fired.
spot?
Yeah. See, my problem isn't the fact that LSU's not included.
They lost their coach.
Exactly.
I'm just trying to,
That's
honestly,
the
like,
point.
since when has Oregon been in it past the middle of October? The last
Never.
7 years.
Well, last
8
year
years.
until they
NC
lost to
State's
Utah,
13. They're
were
supposed to be that good.
They beat Clemson.
That's
They
exactly
beat
my
Clemson
point.
last year.
Who voted on that? This is the AP.
These are coaches poll.
Oh, there's a bunch of favors. Texas got a 1 vote.
Texas did get a first place vote,
By who?
but
Is Texas in there?
Sarkeesian?
yeah, 18.
18.
See,
But
my
who?
problem-
Can't vote for your own
Sarkeesian.
team. Yeah.
Listen, I'm not mad that LSU's not in it. I really am not. Preseason rankings to me don't make any sense. Like they don't. It doesn't matter. Like
No.
if you're, especially when you're in the SEC, because you're going to play the schedule that's better than everybody else's schedule. If you go ahead and you win, you take the teams. They're going to go up anyway. So it doesn't matter if you're not ranked or where you're ranked or all that stuff. And listen, half these teams, probably more than half these teams, are not going to be ranked.
But
I agree, but I guarantee you, if you were towing it up with this team, if you were in that locker room, you'd feel pretty slighted by this.
Which is
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, because
Which is good.
What? That's fine.
I want them to feel
Yeah,
slighted.
but you'd be just as slighted as if you were 22. So like, it really doesn't
Hey,
really
listen.
matter.
People like talk about bulletin board, whether it's true or not. Like, hey, this is something that the coaches can say. Hey, this is another tool in our toolbox to
just
say
another
that to
notch on your
motivate you.
belt.
Oh, notch on
on
your
your
belt.
belt. No notch. Beltless.
yeah. Like we also, I mean, we're not upset. Just logistically, like you said, like USC's at 15, Pitt's at 16, Miami's at 17, Texas
Miami-
at 18.
Miami too.
They're all in the same spots where they have new coaches, or even
Right.
Clemson at 4. Clemson. The only reason Clemson was good last year is because their defense and their coordinator. left.
Listen. I don't care about the Clemson and all those teams. I understand why LSU's not ranked. That's 2 straight years of very, very bad years of debacle, of bad coaching, of a mess. You have a whole new guy. You have a whole new system. You have a whole new staff. Which, yes, it is going to be better and it's going to look better, and we know it's going to feel better and they're going to win more. But to put them preseason ranked, you just can't do that, which I'm okay with it because, hey, we go ahead and you beat Florida State and it looks good, probably going to be ranked. Or if you're not, you go ahead and you beat Mississippi State in week 3, you're ranked in the top 20, no doubt.
I don't think they get ranked after the Florida State. I actually saw the whole thing, and LSU. So the last team to get votes was Florida State, and LSU was somewhere in there.
Right.
So basically, they had Florida State ranked lower than them. So they win that game unless there's some, something.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
goes on.
If they look, I
You'd be
think
able
if
to
they,
I don't. I don't really
Week
think.
one.
I don't really think they'll jump unless
think
it's
if they look
literally
at- they look at-
unless it's a
yeah.
49-3
But,
win.
okay.
Or
Well, also,
something,
maybe like one of these, 18 to 25 teams drops the first.
That, well, that's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
after
Something
that-
has to happen in front of
Somebody
them.
has to lose.
Yeah, I think after week 3, LSU will be 3-0 and they'll be ranked, and it's not going to matter. Like,
When-
listen,
doesn't
the
Texas
rankings
play
don't matter
Bama?
to me because
Doesn't Texas play Bama in week 3 or something like that? Is that this year?
I think personally the rankings shouldn't matter inside the buildings. They matter to me. I'm not in the building.
oh right.
So,
I mean,
so for
it's
me,
good
they
for us
do
to
matter.
talk about.
Yeah,
no
so
doubt.
for me, they do matter. If you're
No
inside
doubt.
the building, I don't think they
No
should
doubt.
matter because what you should be paying attention to, like you said,
Hey,
is
let's
the
just
schedule.
win. Let's get the W's,
schedule.
and let's just
Week
keep,
after week.
let's
That's
just
all you
keep-
got to worry
let's
about.
keep beating the dubs.
But I'm not in the
Like
building.
Jameis
So
likes
to
to
me,
say.
I
Honey
think that's a
butter.
little disrespectful.
honey butter,
Barbecue,
barbecue biscuit.
chicken wings, ookie cookie.
Ooh, not that.
No.
But the only thing that I would say about rankings is the way that teams are ranked, at least in the top 5, you get so much leeway because people do put stock in them for no reason. Whenever you see the shit they're throwing against the wall, it's like Pitt is where?
Now,
16.
now I
Right,
think
like-
I will say this. I
Like,
will say this.
obviously,
Bama,
Ohio State.
State, Georgia. Okay,
Makes
right?
sense.
you have Clemson and Notre Dame. You put them in the top 5. That does give them some weight to say, okay, we can
lose
get
a game.
upset and lose a game and still make it into the playoff, even though they may not or shouldn't be there, right? So I get what you're saying, that there is a lot of leeway when you're ranked in the top 5, top 10, but
At the end of the day,
I
For
can't-
those
can't-
LSU
you couldn't
teams-
expect LSU to be ranked in
Yeah.
the top 20.
No, no,
Well,
no.
yeah,
What I'm
well,
saying
it's
is,
also-
I will say this for every single one of these SEC teams, if we're being completely honest, if you take care of your schedule,
Yep.
you'll be there in the end.
No doubt.
That just is what it is, and I think that's a known fact that even people that don't want to admit it can admit right now.
I mean, listen, you lose 3 games in the SEC to 3 teams that are really good, and you finish the season at 9-3. Like, you're probably still ranked almost in the top 10.
Probably.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just the reality of it. Is so I don't.
A&M was ranked up there, and they had
Right.
4 losses last year.
All right, so like you just don't. Like, listen, it's fun to put stock into it and talk about. It gives us something to talk about because obviously that's what we're here for, is to talk about stuff and have conversations about sports. But it doesn't really bother me all that much.
I'm also surprised that Arkansas is all the way back at 23. With how much they have coming back.
Yeah. What's the better poll question? Should LSU be in the top 25, or will LSU finish in the top 15?
I like that. I like.
Well, LSU finish in the top 15.
I think.
I think if you're.
Could you put both as questions? No, I guess you can't. Yeah.
I think if you're voting smart, you'd hope for the latter because that would mean a better season.
No, but it's
I would say this. I would say do the second one.
I can't do both.
Right? Like, would you rather LSU be ranked?
No.
in the top?
Which one's more likely?
Okay.
Okay, more likely. All right. Well,
There you go.
There you go.
Well, not more likely.
We
Because
can't say more likely now.
We can't say more likely
Which
because
would
it's
you
21.
have
out.
said is more likely before the poll?
I can't say that. Can't say that. You just gotta pick one or the other now
Okay.
because it's already happened. Polls out. Nobody can do that. Answer that question.
But God.
No, the question's answered.
Oh.
So nobody can unbiasedly answer that question anymore because human nature says that it says what it is and it's already stuck in your head with the decision that you're gonna have.
Oh, you think it's biased now?
Well, now because you've seen it,
Polls are
it's
skewed.
been tainted.
I
Tainted.
mean, all these people are going to say
Wait,
yes.
we were talking. I just brought up Miami and Cristobal leaving Oregon. Did y'all see their new locker room?
From the
I
Rock,
haven't seen
baby.
it.
The
Yeah.
rocker room.
The rocker room.
The rocker room.
It's
Are they really calling it that?
Yeah,
Or is
chunk-
that-
they're
chomp in the
calling it
mic.
The Dwayne the Rock
Let me
Johnson
frog.
locker room. That's what they're calling it. Dwayne the Rock Johnson
Look
locker
at
room.
Lloyd right now.
Trying to get big like the Rock, dude. What do you want from me?
Hey, eating veggie straws though.
I don't think these really count as healthy. It's like a potato chip. Too many carbs. Done with them.
But people were roasting it. on
Why
Twitter.
were they roasting it?
Because there's no leg room in between them. It's like
Oh, I'll
they're
show
facing
it,
each
yeah.
other, and it's like a real tight.
We're not getting in
walkway.
trouble on that, right?
No, the Rock's got better things to do.
Oh, it's
There's
not the
a-
Rock. It's not
there's
the
a
Rock.
real
Last time you
tight
said that,
walkway.
I'm not getting in trouble. Boom, in trouble.
I did think that
Somebody said I had more leg room on a Spirit flight.
that's tough.
I've never flown on a
As
Spirit
a
flight.
I
spirit
have.
advocate.
I have.
Yeah, that's
It was
tough.
a good joke.
It is. I thought I was gonna die. I was okay with it. I was laughing
I
on
mean,
the
it's
plane
nice.
watching
I've
my
seen
movie.
better.
It's
like
nice.
a lot better.
Wait till did they pan to the floor yet and how close they are to each other?
Kind of, but not really. I mean, it is pretty tight.
There's no LSU with leg room.
Man, LSU's got beds. It's not even lockers
Yeah.
anymore.
Hey, Jack did a good job with that.
I mean, they're nice. But it's like that row is facing another row, and it's like real close to each other.
It's
you-
literally
The most
can barely
beautiful
walk.
locker room in college football is what the subtitles say.
yeah. That's
No, that's the
definitely not
guy's
true.
caption.
Oof. Oh, that's right.
Oh, we gotta have room for his pads.
I thought it was a refrigerator.
Me too.
Well,
I mean, it's nice. The Rock's gonna go
of
big.
course
or
it's
go
nice. I mean, we'll see. We'll get the reviews of maybe they're too crammed whenever they get in there. But hey, glad that you listen to me. People want to talk about the U, and they want to talk about Florida State, and they want to talk about USC and all these other schools that
Man,
like
Lloyd, fit enough
they don't
in
know
your
if they're back or they don't want them to be back. Listen, when Miami's good and Florida State's good and USC's good,
And name one more.
huh?
And name one more.
LSU.
Texas.
Yes.
And when those four schools are good,
It's better.
it is
brand.
better for football.
It's a better brand.
It is better for college football when those four schools are back and they're good and it's fun because now it brings the it brings the whole country involved with college football, and that to me is good for college football. So like I want them to be good, I want them to be back, and I want them to have that same Miami swagger they've always had. But it's just been a long time since they've gotten that.
What did they look
I'm
like
glad to
before
see the
that?
turnover chain going away, though. That's a good
Yes,
good
no.
decision.
Listen to me. I am so sick of the turnover, whatever. I don't care. You can have props. That's fine with me. Like, I like having all that. But, like, I mean, we are getting some outrageous turnover things. Like, you're getting the turnover trench coat or the turnover basketball dunk alley-oop thing. Like,
The turnover pimp challenge.
what are we doing? Like, is that even that cool anymore? Like
No,
the turnover
played
chain
out.
the turnover chain was awesome because that was like the first thing. That was like the turnover jacket. turnover coat.
I like Georgia's shoulder pads, like with the spikes on them.
Yeah, they're not getting rid of that.
Yeah, like that's okay, but like even that's like not like doesn't move the needle for me. Now maybe like whatever, but like I like that. I like that they're having fun. I like that. I like props. It's just I guess you gotta like be creative and start doing things.
The best
change it
was
up,
when LSU, when they played Miami after their first turnover, they put the towel just on. I think it was Devin White or Patrick Queen. Did Patrick Queen have that pick six? And whenever they played him in the first game in 2018. And instead of, like, they're making fun of the turnover chain, so they just put a white towel on his neck, and it was like...
Is that how long the turnover chain's been there? Since, like...
It was the year before that.
17. Wow.
But
that's a long
if
time.
you think things like this are played out, where do you stand on, obviously, B.J. Ojulari, named number 18?
Love that. I don't think that's played out.
I was going to say the number tradition, because there was talks of, obviously, new regime. Mario Cristobal gets rid of the turnover chain, which seemed to be not nearly as ingrained in culture.
Yeah.
But... Are you still with the 18 and 7 tradition?
I like that. I mean, obviously
you.
Obviously.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah. But I like it because it brings meaning. It brings there's still pride behind it. Like it's not like we're not just giving it to the best player. Now a lot of times it does go to one of the best players, but there is something behind it, right? It's not necessarily result oriented. It's more about character oriented, which I think is a good thing. It's almost like giving the C to a guy on a team, right? Like that's basically what 18 is you're the captain of the team. And so you've earned that by the sacrifices and the stuff that you've gone throughout your career, and like you've earned that and you've been voted on it, and like that to me holds merit more than like, oh, you had a really good play, here's the turnover chain. Because like, what if that guy's a really good defender, a really good player, but like kind of an asshole. Like nobody really likes him. He's kind of like a me guy. Like he's still gonna get the turnover chain, but like not really have the respect of everybody. You know what I mean? So I'm still on that.
I have a question. I was thinking about
What
this.
about you, Jay?
I like it. I'm not opposed to it at all. I think it's good in the sense of.
What was the voting like when you were there? Like,
there wasn't.
It's just.
I don't think it really became. It's so funny. Me and another.
Oh, it just got handed down to Hester, right?
Dude, me and another guy literally just had this conversation. I think it was so if I remember correctly, it was Matt Mock before, right? Matt Mock before it got handed down to Hester. From Hester, it went to Richard Dixon, and I think somewhere right along that era is when it became like a thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember it being a thing like this. Like there was never a vote on it in practice or anything when I was around. So I think it's good in the sense of just like you said, like it's another way of naming a team captain without be throwing a C on your jersey, right? Kind of gives if you want recognition among your peers, which is your own teammates, right? Not even guys outside the program. I think it brings immediate recognition, and it's not, like he said, necessarily to the best player, which usually when you embody these traits, you happen to be a very good player. Mm-hmm. So more often than not, it goes to a really, really good player, right? But it embodies something, and I think it's pretty, notable among your teammates about what's going on.
So I mean, I think BJ. He's a great recipient of 18. Hopefully, I mean, obviously, Kayshawn got 7. I think 7 goes more to like minus one guy that got it a couple years ago for God knows why he got that.
I was Coach O reaching for the stars. Yeah. I brought in this transfer. He's my guy.
Yeah, but like usually the 7 will go to like.
Giles was one play away from breaking that first punt he returned though, and it never happened.
I mean, Giles looks slow.
Well,
there was no he never had separation. We're not getting that. But 7s, I think, have been gone to more of the electric, good, like really good player. But they've had really good character guys come with that as well. Patrick Peterson, now, I mean, Tyron now, obviously, he had his story when he was here, but now
if you ask anybody, he was a leader in that locker room.
Right, no doubt. And so you had a lot of guys that, that 7 was given to, and they were able to, do that. So, I mean, I like it. I think it's great.
Do you think that this kind of put a little bit of kind of foreshadowing as to who's going to be named the starting quarterback? Because it feels like if it was going to be Brennan, he would have gotten 18.
No.
No.
Not at all. Damn it. Not one bit.
Not one.
That's
like,
that's a reach right there.
Not,
That's about as big as your Anthony Rizzo reach.
Oh. Should we revisit that?
No.
Should we revisit that?
Have you seen Anthony Rizzo's cousin?
What?
14 years old, throws 88.
Really?
Yeah, stud.
Don't try to change the subject.
That's exactly what he was doing. He's like, please get off me with this one.
I love Trey Morgan. I think Trey Morgan is going to be a great player. I think he is a great player. I think he has a chance to make it to the big leagues. But to say that Trey Morgan and Anthony Rizzo have the same approach at the plate is...
One just has more pop, but they're trying to do the same thing.
No, they're not.
We'll see. You'll see. Let him go to the Yankees in that short porch. He'll pop 35.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly
That's
how
why
his
he's
name's
in
gotten to
homers.
where it has. Let me tell you.
That's why he said
not the
homers.
other 14 years he's played in the league.
Oh, he got a ball in the wicker basket at
goodness.
Wrigleyville.
Jack, you were at practice. You've been at practice. You've been our
We've gotten
correspondent.
2 practices. Yep.
You've been our correspondent at practice. You've been the guy behind the scenes.
Behind the camera lens.
Give me a little bit of as Lloyd is chomping on these veggie straws. What's that?
What have you seen? What's impressed you there?
I think the safety room in particular, maybe not so the cornerbacks. The safety room I think is deeper than people are going to give it credit for. Because I mean, you like today, like Jordan Tolles wasn't even out there, but you had Joe Fouché and Major Burns. You had Jay Ward. You had Todd Harris is still around. I mean, you have.
I can't believe he's still there.
You have depth in the safety room, not necessarily cornerbacks. The cornerback depth might be a problem because Converse was out today. Didn't really get an explanation of why he wasn't out there. He had a foot problem in spring, but was healthy, to our knowledge, like leading up to the fall.
So who do we have? Let's
Wait,
talk about.
Before we get into your question, real quick, rapid fire. Who's older, Todd Harris or Miles Brennan? Go.
Were they not in the same class?
Todd Harris. I mean, I think they are in the same class.
I'm gonna go Miles Brennan.
I bet you Todd's older just because you're asking us a question.
I
don't know the answer. I'll look it up.
I mean, I think they are in the same class. I would say Miles Brennan, but I think they're probably similar. Okay, so our secondary, right? I thought the same thing. I thought our safeties are deeper. I think we have a chance. But as far as
and
Sage Ryan, you forgot Sage Ryan. So cornerbacks, we have who?
Jared Bernard Converse, Oklahoma State transfer, Mekhi Gardner, and Seven Banks are the 3 main guys. You have the 2 freshmen, Jordan Allen and LaTerrence Welsh coming in, and you have a couple guys that were walk-ons that played in the bowl game that I don't even know their names. But sorry.
So you got 5 guys.
Yeah.
5 legitimate cornerbacks.
He's not. No, this isn't the what for eat. Relax.
Don't love that.
That's for dinner. I'll say this. I'm just gonna be honest.
Well, no, and Greg Brooks in the slot.
I'll say this.
Nickel. But like outside corners, those.
Yeah.
The
Seven
amount
Banks.
of size
That's what I said.
and depth.
Hey, you were there on Saturday, so you have a little bit
the
more.
amount of size and depth that you have up front, to me,
Is serious.
is such a
How
good
scary those guys
outlook
look.
for
I
that
walked past
defensive
Mason
backfield.
Smith and I was like, "This." Is
I'm
why
just being
holding a
honest with you.
camera.
The size they have up front is outrageous.
I love that.
They have some
On both sides?
Both sides, yes. But if you watch
More so
the defense,
defensive line?
it's glaringly like, oh my god.
Linebackers are balling out too,
Yes.
huh?
Yeah, Harold
Yeah.
looks
Yes.
nice.
Yes.
Who's that?
And I'll say this too. Just
Harold
Oh,
Perkins.
Perkins.
and I'll say this too, which is this always to me is a very, very, very good indicator of kind of what you're gonna have during the season. The team portion of the practice that I saw, it almost felt like the offense didn't move the ball at all. Which having your defense in front of your offense at this point of camp is very, very. It's a very good indicator where you are.
Yeah, Denbrock said that the offense was still making strides to figure it out.
But that's how it's
Because
gonna
they have
happen.
They also have a lot of moving pieces because they have.
Listen,
It's
you
never-
know it, the offense is always a little bit behind.
Yeah, but you're never as good as you think you are on offense when you come out and say you're just cutting up your defense. It usually just means your defense is struggling.
yeah, right.
It also,
That's not a good. That's not a good.
Yeah,
thing
because
for you to
usually
go
the
on.
defense is a little bit
Yes,
more ahead of the offense.
Exactly.
well, also especially for LSU specifically. I mean, they have 3 quarterbacks taking snaps. Plenty.
Well,
of
you're still
receivers.
installing. You're still trying to
yeah.
get on time.
And you're still trying to figure out
everything's
the
still
line.
everything's still pretty basic. You don't have much checks going on. Like for an offense to be in front of a defense right now it would be tough. And from what I saw was completely the opposite way around. So I think that's a good signal for what could be to come during the year.
But yeah, that shouldn't be That's not a surprise to anybody, right?
But you'd be surprised. I've seen it happen the other way, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you feel like, oh, we're so good on offense, which I'm not saying that you're probably not, but you're not probably as good as you think you are.
Right.
Your defense is just not at a very good spot where they need to be.
So I know it's early. I know you just saw it. Does that give you more confidence going into the first game of the season, knowing how deep our front seven is on the defensive side of the football?
So from what I saw, practice was pretty fast paced, to the point to where I can't even remember the exact people who were asking, but was like, "Hey, this is fast. I'm struggling. Like, I'm tired." And so, to me, is if you keep the practice up at that pace, which I would imagine that he would, because he's trying to set a precedent of what we're doing here. You keep the practice up at that pace. You're that deep in personnel. I think it bodes well for us coming out of the gate. I kind of wish it was an outside game so they could really, but Florida State's kind of, they're practicing in this a little bit too,
right? As
it is. But, I do think it bodes well for him. First game. I do.
And Mason Smith is a giant human being.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He's an athletic freak.
I watched, so him and Jaquelin were working with the defensive line guy that we just hired.
Jamar?
Yeah.
Jamar Kane.
Yeah. And, I mean, Jaquelin's a big fella. I mean, we interviewed him on last week. He was a player interview last Tuesday, and he's a big fella.
I thought it was going to go thump.
But even standing next to Mason.
I was looking at the screen because I was like, please tell me he's on screen doing this and didn't even realize he was switching.
Sorry, go ahead.
So him and Jaquelin are working on this drill, and Jaquelin's a big fella. I mean, we had a player interview with him on Tuesday, and he towers everybody. But even standing next to Mason, I'm like, he looks tiny.
Jaquelin?
Yeah.
Looks tiny compared to Mason?
I mean, if you saw the games last year, like whenever they did that in the tunnel view before they would come out, Mason Smith was by far and away, he looked like he was lost.
Okay, no, we did cornerbacks. Those are defensive linemen. Just defensive linemen, right?
Interiors or edges?
Huh?
Like
all four. So you have let's go from outside in, right? You have Ojulari, you have Ali Gay, you have Wiggins, Savion Smith. Those are the four outside guys.
Yeah, your four main ones.
Then you have
Jaquelin Roy, Mason Smith, Guillory, and
the guy from Missouri,
Mik'd Wingo,
who was going to be a freak show.
Good Lord!
Like I said, if they can scheme it up and play well. The depth there is because the sizes and the depth is unbelievable.
Lord.
And that's some of the same.
Just imagine Quincy Wiggins running onto the field for third down fresh and like chasing after quarterbacks.
It's just kind of the same thing we said last year, though. It's like look at the front seven for LSU or front four at least, and you're
but they got hurt.
The size and the size and the ability was not the problem, and that's what bodes well for the years that you're sitting there, you think and you wonder. Man, you bring this like CEO type mindset and approach to this thing of being. So, I mean, we're sitting there, and at the end of the practice, he even pointed out, he called out the amount of guys who didn't eat lunch to a T I guess that day, and talked about how important it was for them to eat lunch and do what they need to be doing, right? So for the top of the chain to know these type of things, right?
Attention to detail.
Wait, Brian Kelly knew who didn't eat lunch?
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. So for the top of the chain to be able to point out these kind of things.
Coach O knew that?
Yeah, so you think Coach O even knew what was for lunch?
If he can point out these kind of things, and the attention to detail is that, now you add that with the actual talent and depth that you have, I would imagine that things would be a lot different. Because you're 100% right, dude. Like you can have all the size and all the athletic ability and all the talent you want, and if they snap the ball and this guy's going that way and this guy's going this way, and he's going the wrong way, it really won't matter. You feel what I'm saying? It won't matter. So also, I think you're right when you say that, but I find it hard to believe you'll find the same brand of football that you saw out there the last 2 years.
Were they banging pretty hard out there?
Yeah.
Like were they?
And
the team. It was everything except for tackling.
Because the one thing I want to like.
Yeah, they were doing everything except for
button is like, damn, are we gonna like tackle?
No,
because that was the issue. Is like we got to him, just couldn't fucking bring him down. You know what I mean?
It wasn't that day yet. I don't know when they're actually.
Well, they have a full scrimmage on Thursday.
Yeah, there you go.
In the stadium.
Is it open?
Yeah, I'm gonna be there the whole time.
I kind of want to go to that.
There you go.
Well, no, I mean it's open to the media the whole time.
It's media now.
You can get a media pass.
Media Mikey.
But I think kind of how this Quincy could kind of play a similar role to what Ojulari played his freshman year.
You have four
second and third down, and
you have four legitimate defensive ends that can get to the passer anytime they want. Like truly, and that's on the outside. Plus, you have Mason Smith who can play outside or inside and get to the passer anytime he wants from either position.
I'll tell you this. It's so funny, too, like being on the field. Because you stand there and you look at it and you're like, why are these humans so damn big?
Unbelievable.
And but you don't feel that way when you play. Like I can remember being on the field and it's literally
right.
You go to the mindset. It's like, well, it's you or me, so I don't really care how big you are.
Right.
Something got to shake. Like it just is what it is. But then you remove yourself from it. And you're like, bro, what is that? Like, why is this man so damn big? It's crazy, man. There is some serious talent there. So, I mean.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Well, and I think they're not as married to a scheme as they were last year where Coach O was adamant about running the 4-3.
I don't think it mattered.
They're running
dude.
the
Like,
3-4 right now.
It just wasn't organized, so I don't think
That's
it
what I'm
really
saying,
mattered.
Like he wouldn't get out of his own way in terms of like, I want to run this, I have the players to do this. Like, you have to be multiple.
It's gonna be
otherwise-
and I'm saying that too. Now I'll go back on it too because I guess I can go back on the top 25 comment I made. Look, I get it. We all know what the circumstances were, but if you remember LSU's last time out, it's kind of hard to root for that. The bowl game.
Oh yeah.
That's the lasting thought you have in your mind of what they were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's kind of hard to. It's kind of hard to vote on that too.
It's gonna be nice to be able to go watch a football season, talk about the team, and not have to talk about
the coach.
But, yeah. And I'll say this too because if we talk about the
well, you
top
always get to talk
25,
about the coach, but like
not
talk
in
about
the
the
way
coach
we
being
were. Not the way we had
not
been.
competent.
you talk about the top 25 too, even if they're not in the 25. Let's be honest, LSU ain't sneaking up on anyone.
Yeah.
Right.
If you see
Listen,
a 4-0
it's a
LSU
sleeping-
team in
it's a-
front of you,
yeah.
you're gonna think it's a good
sleeping
squad.
giant. Like, hey, this team's
exactly.
got talent. This team's gonna be coached. Let's just see if they can put it together because they have a lot of new faces, and if they can, hey, don't take these guys for granted because they're don't let them get hot because you let them get hot, they get 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins. Holy shit, they're hot and they're feeling good and they're confident and. God knows that you don't want to come into Baton Rouge and have to play a team that is good.
If they make it into October unbeaten,
And they open up with Tennessee at home.
you won't be looking at them like, oh, I don't. You'll be saying, is this LSU team for real? But it's going to be approaching it on the side of, I think they are until they show me they're not now.
What were they ranked in the preseason? I guess they were ranked, probably top 15 in 2019 going into the season?
I don't remember.
Do you know?
Say that again.
What were they ranked in the top in 2019 going into the season?
Oh, I'd say 18.
6.
6?
They finished the year before at number 6. They were.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
no,
because they had 10 wins. What about going in 2018 season? Probably a little later.
Probably somewhere between 10 and 20.
I would think they're probably
What happened in
20,
2017? What bowl game?
That's when they
Was
had. I
it
think
the
they had
Notre
8
Dame?
wins.
They lost to Notre Dame
2018
outside.
they opened it with Miami.
Yeah.
So I don't remember what they were ranked.
Joe Burrow era.
That was the first season of Joe.
Yeah, but 2017 was the Notre Dame game.
That's when he lost to Troy.
Right. But
Yes.
I'm talking about the bowl game. Notre Dame outside, you lost the last second
Oh yeah.
in the rain. Brian Kelly, giant killer.
But I don't know if I've said this to any of y'all, but I was talking to somebody the other night. LSU's first 22 can compete with pretty much anybody on their
Yeah, but that's
schedule.
never. That's
If
the-
they're
Oh,
on
it's
track.
all- it should always
that's
be the
what I'm
case.
saying.
Yeah.
Is can they stay healthy and are they going to be coached to their talent?
And I think that I think the coach to the talent is. I mean,
Pretty paramount.
It's
Yeah.
obviously that's to be determined, but like, I
You
would
feel
have
more
to say
comfortable going
yes.
into
I
it,
feel
yeah.
more comfortable with that living up to that expectation. You don't ever know if they're going to stay healthy, but that's always been our issue. When you played against Bama and those teams in the past that were just as good as you with the first 22, is the next guys. Are the next guys going to be a drop off or not? And are you going to be able to compete with them and keep up with them with the front four defensively?
For 4
And-
quarters.
We in the past, outside of 19, we haven't been able to because they just were more physically imposing than us on the defensive line and deeper. This year, I don't know if that's the case. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, Will Anderson, like, probably be number 1 overall pick in the draft. And
Get good odds on that too if you want.
who
Like
else
plus
is supposed to go
150.
1?
Bryce
CJ
Young.
Stroud or
Stroud or
Preseason.
Bryce.
Quarterback.
I think Stroud actually more than Bryce. I think people are the projectability
Yeah.
at that level, just because of size.
If Will Anderson has any type of year he had last year, he's going
Oh,
1
God.
I mean, that guy is a monster.
He would have went 1 last year had he left last year.
No doubt.
Yeah, he's better than Chase Winbush.
Winbush.
What's his
Talking
name?
about
The guy
Hutchinson,
from
Aiden
Georgia?
Hutchinson.
Aiden
Aiden
Hutchinson.
Hutchinson.
You were close.
He didn't go 1.
Winbush.
That's a Chase something that played whenever Michigan did all or nothing. He had blonde hair. He did the same thing, ran around like an idiot. Like, you know.
No, I think Aiden
effort guy.
Hutchinson's good, dude.
He is. He went to the perfect team. Who's going to be on Hard Knocks starting tomorrow night?
That's my question. I love Hard Knocks. I love Hard Knocks.
Yeah, I like it.
I feel like
in-season Hard Knocks is awesome.
I didn't watch it.
It's awesome.
I feel like they've dropped the ball the last few years.
I just
Hard
wish
Knocks.
that they would. There is some kind of rule to where they can't go to certain type of teams, right?
No.
Yeah. Like it can't be a playoff team.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Previous year's playoff team, right?
It's
Why?
ineligible.
Why?
Because they don't want. I guess they don't want the shit show. I don't know.
Yeah, they want to focus on the rebuilds that have problems.
They want people. Detroit asked for this. They asked for Hard Knocks to come to them, as opposed in previous years where teams are like, "I want nothing to do with Hard Knocks." You can ask.
Well, I mean, you have Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell wants that. He wants that smoke there. He wants to be able to show what he's doing over there.
He wore a hat that just said grit on it.
They said they have some momentum coming out there in Detroit. People like what's going on over there. They think they have some hype. They think you have DeAndre Swift looks good. You have the receivers that they drafted looks good. You have Amon St. Brown looked awesome last year towards the end of the year. DJ Chark looks good.
So what you saying they're ceiling? 8-8? What do you got about?
Well,
They're gonna win 4 games.
They have 17.
7-9. What do you got?
I think 7-10. They play 17 now.
7-10.
I think if they went 8-9, I think they would be ecstatic about that.
They're not going to win 8 games.
If they won 8-9, they would be pumped.
Oh, the Skenes is here.
He's in. Look at that. He's in early.
Oh, he's an Army. He's an Air Force man.
Don't look. He's an Air Force. Don't.
I'm not. Yeah, these colors don't run.
All right. Let's take a little break. Let's take a little 30-second break. Let's get him in. Technology is working. Thank God.
It does feel good.
It does feel good. All right. 30-second break. You're watching Mik'd, brought to you by Sterling Automotive. All right. This interview's going to be better. I'm going to be better. Dos Equis. Here in Louisiana, we like to have a great time. If you're looking to be the life of the tailgate, check out Dos Equis mini kegs. Hold 16 beers, easy to tap, easy to pour, easy to chill. Check it out. Become the life of the party. You're welcome. Our What's for Lunch segment is brought to you by Doe's Eat Place. Maybe the best burger in town. If you're not looking for lunch, you're looking for dinner, go check out Doe's Eat Place. They have unbelievable choice of meats. They have unbelievable tamales. They have a great atmosphere, great vibes. If you're looking for a homey Louisiana type of atmosphere, but you're looking for high quality food,
yes, sir. You got
Doe's
me.
Eat Place is your spot. Go in the back bar, sit at the bar, have a couple drinks, watch some games, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the vibes. Check out Doe's Eat Place, the best place in Baton Rouge to get your meats. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. We are brought to you by Sterling Automotive. This is the interview we've been waiting for almost a week.
It was teased it.
We teased it. Look, we had a 5-day tease session on this interview.
Sounds like my wife.
I think it's the other way around, but
Wait,
yeah,
maybe.
She teases you, you don't tease her.
You don't know.
Maybe, who knows?
Oh,
Anyways, that's not the point. That's not the point of this. This next guy is a first-team All-American on the mound, but can also rake, was a catcher, has unbelievable offensive numbers, played on Team USA with Dylan Cruz and Trey Morgan, and he is now a transfer, and he's coming in to play at LSU and hopefully hoist the national championship trophy here at LSU. Paul Skenes, welcome to the show, Paul Skenes.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Very nice. Matter of fact, how you doing? First things first, dude. Do you like to hit or pitch better? What do you like to do more? You get that question a million times, I know.
Yeah, I always say it depends on the day.
Depends on the day. Well,
wind's blowing out.
Are you coming to LSU to do both?
Exactly. Yes, sir.
Oh, please don't call me sir. It makes me feel really old. Please don't do that. I still feel like I'm 22, so please do not call me sir. But okay, so talk to me about this process. We've talked to a few other guys who have transferred in here, who have come to LSU. What made you want to come here? What are the conversations like with Jay Johnson, and what are you looking most forward to coming to LSU?
Yeah, so I entered the portal after our season ended. Talked to a bunch of schools. I had the opportunity to talk to a lot of really good coaches and a lot of players within those programs, a lot of successful programs and successful coaches. And I think what stood out to me with LSU was, Coach Jay Johnson and his coaching style. And then when I got to talk to Wes, it was a pretty immediate connection on the pitching side that kind of fired me up to get better on that side. So
well, well, I guess this is two questions. Like what you said, the coaching style with Jay Johnson. What about his coaching style did you like? And then what did Wes tell you to make you pretty pumped? Because Wes is.
You see my resume, right?
Yeah, we've got to talk to Wes. I know a little bit about him, his resume, and I mean he is unbelievable. So I'm sure you're pumped to work with him and learn from him. But what are some of the things specifically that they both told you?
Honestly, to be honest, like most of the schools pretty much told me the same thing with what I need to do to get better. But I think with both of them, it was just their enthusiasm. With wanting to get me better and wanting to get me on campus and that kind of thing. It was just a little bit different than most of the other schools that I talked to.
So showing up with all the enthusiasm, coming on campus here, I'm pretty sure you know it. And I would imagine that you can feel it. How comfortable are you with the pretty much target you guys are going to have when you're back this year, knowing what is most likely expected out of you, out of this fan base, and kind of around the nation with the amount of guys you have coming in and the amount of guys you have coming back to this team?
I'm fired up. I'm ready to work. Most of all, we're not just gonna play the season, go 56-0, and just get handed a trophy at the end of the year. So I'm excited for working every day with all those boys and getting better with them. When we get into the season, going through the ups and downs of it, and hopefully helping to lead, the team through that. And, in the end of the year, I want to be holding a trophy in Omaha.
You got to play with Dylan and Trey with Team USA. So is that important to you? How important was that to be able to kind of build a relationship with some of your, future teammates? You weren't teammates at the time, but to be able to have a little bit of experience playing with them, knowing them, becoming friends with them, because obviously going to a new place, not knowing guys can kind of be a little bit different. There's kind of an adjustment period. Having some experience with these guys has got to help a little bit, right?
Yeah, it was valuable. Just talking to them, picking their brains a little bit about Jay and the LSU program. To be honest, I didn't talk to them a ton, about the nitty-gritty of LSU
right.
compared to other schools, just because if I had done that with every kid that was out there, it would have taken a lot of time. And I was trying to enjoy the experience for what it was rather than a recruiting opportunity. But it was cool to be able to get to know them a little bit.
When did you know that you were going to come to LSU? I know obviously there's a lot of teams that were probably, trying to get you to commit to their school, sign with their school, and, very, highly sought after, as you should be. When did you know, you said, you know what, LSU is a spot that I'm going to
go? So I came on my visit, and I had one more visit after, and it was like, going into the next visit, I was pretty sure that LSU was going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, love that.
And so I wanted to keep an open mind going into that visit, but I kind of knew that I could definitely see myself at LSU, and it would be pretty tough to go somewhere else after visiting.
When are you getting on campus?
I come out the 18th.
Okay, so pretty much right before school start. When does school start?
The 22nd.
22nd, so right before school. Are you a football
major?
Are you a No, who cares about his major? He's playing major in baseball. Are you a football fan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did it again. Don't do that.
My bad.
Don't do that to me. What are you?
You should be saying yes, sir, to him. He works for your country, sir.
Have you?
You're the sir in this one.
Are you looking forward to coming and experience the LSU football atmosphere? Obviously, you're going to come in the fall, and it's going to be baseball, and that's what you're here to do. But you get to experience something that I think is very rare for a lot of people who haven't been in this area of football, is to be able to experience LSU football, and especially on a time where there's a lot of hype. Are you excited to experience that and everything else that comes with Louisiana?
Yeah, I'm grew up on the West Coast. I had never been to a college football game until probably about my junior year, just because there's not a lot of college football teams around here that are very good.
Right.
And so I think the first one I went to was, the first one I went to was when Air Force played, San Diego State. But it'll be a little bit different to see the LSU fan base come out as, compared to the, 20,000 people that come out to the Air Force games.
Yeah, you remember that first game. You won't remember this one.
Yeah, you'll definitely. Oh yeah, you may not remember. I don't know. Maybe.
This is very respectful of you just now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so you're a two-way guy, right? And I think that's kind of the new. I don't want to say the new trend, but like it's more accepted now to be able to do both, be able to pitch and hit. You caught when you're at Air Force and you were a starter. When you're here, are you going to be on the mound and DH or play a different position, or are you going to still try to dabble behind the dish a little bit?
I'm going to probably play first, and then Jay mentioned corner outfield, so we'll see about that.
I'll come out there with you. Maybe I'll be training for
those knees will be a little bit better. Yeah, you'll enjoy that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You're not going to be as sore. Did you like catching? Did you like calling the game? Did you kind of have a different perspective because you were a pitcher as well?
Yeah, it was really fun for me. We got to call our own game at Air Force. But,
really? That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was really valuable for me just because I could, work with the pitching staff for one, but also get into the hitter's head and, know what pitch he's sitting on and that kind of thing in certain counts. So that was really cool for me. And then, the typical stuff like stealing strikes and
no doubt.
Throwing out runners and that kind of thing.
Yeah, the savvy part of the game.
How much is being able to catch and play and like hit helped you on the mound? Because I've run into a lot of guys who understand just how hard it is to hit after they get up there and do it for a good amount of time, and it helps them to actually pound the zone and stay in the zone and attack hitters more on the mound. How much has that aspect kind of helped you a little bit?
When I was in high school, I had to work to get I had to earn every bit of what I got in high school, and I didn't start out as a pitcher, so I was a hitter first and learned to move my body to hit the ball hard basically. And I think that once I started pitching consistently, I think that really helped me. So I think it was super valuable.
Are you at Air Force right now? I'm looking at the colors of the wall and the ceiling, and it seems like you're in the barracks still. They're going to let you out, dude?
This is just my room.
Oh, so you never had a choice.
Right.
Do you have your pilot's license?
I don't. I've actually never flown a plane.
Have you jumped out of one?
Well, how tall are you?
No. 6'7".
I was about to say you look
you
about
can't,
6'12".
You're
right
too tall
here.
to be a pilot.
So
right? Yeah. Isn't that the case?
I've been in the back seat of a couple jets and got to go really fast and pull some G's and it wasn't comfortable, and I don't think I would want to be in the front seat of those jets, but
I'm with you,
I could probably do something heavier. Yeah.
Damn, 6'7", sitting in one of the jets. Yeah, I don't.
Have you seen Top Gun?
Oh yeah, both of them.
I've seen it I've seen the new one like 3 times.
So good.
Awesome.
It's good.
It's great. I think it's better than the first one.
Do y'all play that all 22 football when y'all get out there?
No, that's
that was a Tom special.
You don't have that much fun. You don't get to have that much fun.
No. I don't even know what that game is. Like,
it's like that's not real life.
That's just a movie.
Oh man.
Damn, I was about to sign up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You would not get accepted. I can promise you that. Dude, I appreciate you coming on. We have a couple more questions. What?
What do you mean? I can get in. I've jumped out of a plane
There's
twice.
a few.
I don't think those are the requirements.
There's a few requirements that you're gonna need. I don't think you're gonna pass some of them.
Bring back the draft.
No. Couple more questions. We're gonna let you go. I appreciate you coming on. As far as taking your game to the next level, obviously your ultimate goal is to get to the big leagues and get drafted, get to the big leagues, and kind of reach that dream of yours. As far as reaching that dream, what are some of the things that you've kind of self-evaluated yourself, and scouts or coaches have told you, hey, these are some of the things that we want to kind of hone in and kind of make a little bit better so that you have the best opportunity to make it to the big leagues?
I think it's nice for me. That's kind of a loaded question because
Yeah, true.
pitching and hitting. So,
are you going to want to do both in pro ball?
I want to do it as long as I can.
Okay.
Basically until somebody says that I can't. So, I know I have some room to work on both sides this year. I think I probably am better right now at pitching, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to work to get better at hitting. So, I mean, right now, just, strike out less, walk more on when I'm hitting, and, pretty much the opposite of that.
I can feel that. I can feel that was coming to you. Like, oh,
on the mound, you have obviously you have you're 6'7", you have a big arm. Do they say like, oh, you need to develop, like your slider needs to develop your slider a little bit more, develop a third pitch, or it's like, hey, you have everything, just continue to improve on everything you've got?
I think I'm getting a little bit of that or a little bit of both of that from, I talk to one person and they tell me one thing.
Right,
and,
for sure.
I talk to.
At the end of the day, it's
and
about
I think
you.
just self-evaluating.
Yep.
I think I want to throw harder. I want to throw more strikes, and I want to develop a slider and have really good command over 3 pitches.
Can't get much better.
I think it's pretty simple.
You said you had to work for everything you got. You had to develop into this. When did you make that next jump in your career, in your pitching career, hitting career, whatever it was first, to say, oh shit, like, I think I got something a little special here. Like, you went to Air Force, like it took you a little while, and then you got there. Like, when did the light turn on, and when did you make that jump?
I think it was a long process. I think I started making the jump probably between my sophomore and junior years of high school, and just kept, developing through my freshman year, and even this past year at Air Force. I really think it's been a kind of a constant, journey for me.
So being a bigger guy, a taller guy, you usually find those guys take a little longer to kind of be able to coordinate the things that, being able to put things together coordination-wise, if you will. Just because you guys got so much to move, right?
Yeah.
Being a bigger guy, how has that maturation for you come along and being able to productively move your body the best you can?
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, with the hitting helping me learn how to pitch, I think that was a really big deal for me because, again, like I grew a lot, over a couple of years, probably my sophomore, junior year, and just working on hitting helped my body learn how to move, and then that translated over to the pitching mound. Because when I first started hitting balls really hard and really far, I wasn't throwing very hard, and that kind of just came as I did it more and more.
Were you a multi-sport guy, or did you just play baseball?
Just baseball.
Wow, they didn't make you play basketball?
Wait, how much did you grow?
No.
Jeez.
I don't know. I was probably 6'1" after my freshman year, and
wait, freshman year of college or freshman year of high school?
High school.
Good night.
Damn.
Yeah.
I wish I grew 6 inches in college. Go ahead.
Wait,
question.
Last question for me. Are you going to keep that same haircut? Because, now you're in Baton Rouge, you can kind of let that thing loose. A big mullet culture down here, so
no,
feel
just
free.
from you. You're the only one.
No, Dylan
all right, Trey
Cruz.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Dylan Cruz has it. I forgot.
Jordan
And
Thompson.
Trey's got his.
Thompson buzzed it.
He buzzed it, but he had it. I'm saying they're big, you feel free to let that thing hang.
Get some lettuce.
Yeah, I actually got a haircut yesterday. I can't.
Boom.
Let
See?
it go
He likes
super
it.
long.
It's ingrained in his culture. I'll get you. I'll break you. Don't worry.
High and tight. Take your body.
Paul, dude, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you taking the time. We're on all the time. We're huge baseball guys, obviously.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes technology's a bitch. But looking forward to watching you progress at LSU. Looking forward to you getting on campus. And hopefully when you get to –
Looking forward to meeting you.
Yeah, looking forward to meeting you in person. Hopefully when you get on campus, you can come in studio and we can kind of cut up, and especially the closer the baseball season gets here. So I appreciate it, dude. Take it easy. Have safe travels coming out to Baton Rouge, and good luck.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Avoid D. Jacobson.
So random.
It's a don't listen to him.
I mean, goodness.
Bye.
Bye.
See you. Toodles.
Did you hang up yet?
It's up to him.
How do I?
I think I could. Oh, there he goes. Yes. All right,
I wasn't talking to him. I was talking to you.
I know, but they usually hang up on their own.
You
volition.
can't hang up.
I'm scared to touch some of this stuff. I could
I'd be
disconnect, but
scared-
that
I'd be
seems
scared to touch it
aggressive.
too, I guess.
I don't want to disconnect from. Look how happy he was though hanging up.
Boy, our pitching
Hey.
pitching staff's gonna be giant.
Hey, that team is
Huge.
absolutely loaded.
Who do you think will be the favorite whenever the lines are released
LSU.
for?
LSU or Tennessee.
What I know. Where do you think the number will be?
Oh.
Because if Alabama is plus 175 right now, and
LSU will probably be plus 400.
Football's a little.
yeah, I know,
football's
but
a
I'm
little
just
different,
saying
though.
for
Plus
comparison's sake
400, I
to
think. Plus
Tennessee.
400.
What, the baseball team?
I mean, I'll
Was
hop
it
on
all?
that twice.
Huh?
I'll hop on that a couple of times.
You think it'll be plus money for them to win it all?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
it has
of
to
course.
be.
They won't be
Yeah.
minus money. No way.
No way.
I mean, Tennessee wasn't even minus money going into the year. This year.
Oh really?
Yeah. It's just baseball's too hard. There's too many games.
Yeah.
Too many.
You
Too
saw
many
why
variables. Huh?
See, I wouldn't ever
You
put
saw
a
why.
futures bet.
Yeah.
with Tennessee.
Everything. Actually, everything at the beginning of the year, though. There's so much you don't. There's so much unknown.
Good interview, dude. For as poorly as you thought you did in the first one, I feel like you really saved it in the second one.
I know, but I mean,
Were you intimidated by him?
the first guy?
Yeah.
No. I was excited to talk about football and had a bunch of questions I wanted to ask.
And
I
you
didn't
asked them all at once.
And I think I heard stuff in the background. I was like, damn, is he like, I don't know. That was my fault.
What do you
It
think
on
he
me.
was?
So, somebody said he
Look like-
seemed like a Jay Johnson clone with a serious face, then mixing a random.
Hey,
laugh.
Jay's not serious on our show, though.
No, that's what I'm
At
saying.
first he was, but
Yeah, you got to break him. Skenes will get there.
I don't know if
Come to the
anybody-
party
I don't know
box.
if any baseball player we've had is more comfortable was more comfortable than Gavin Guidry was.
Nah, he could have stayed. He still might be
Yeah.
here.
I don't know. Paxton was pretty comfortable too.
Oh yeah.
Paxton and
Actually,
Gavin were
let's
both
take
really
that.
comfortable.
That's
I
two.
think
That's
Drew,
two
Drew
freshmen.
Bianca was pretty comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Yeah,
always
yeah,
been.
but
Well, yeah,
Sounds
but Drew's
like
season,
that.
yeah, I
Expected.
expected that. Yeah.
Like transfers.
We've gotten to know Drew a little bit too, so
Yeah.
I kind of expected that.
As far as like the
Turncoat.
transfers,
Like first time meeting him.
We're very open here.
huh?
I feel like we're very welcoming.
Paxton and
Yeah.
Gavin were definitely
Yeah,
like.
but they're both freshmen.
I know.
It's crazy.
New age
Crazy.
of kids, dude.
Love it.
Fall ball's gonna be competitive.
Oh yeah.
Where are we at the rosters?
They're a
67,
little over here.
almost at the cut.
We have a whole football team. 85 guys. on the team.
We're right
Still
there.
add 18
We're right there at the
players.
edge.
Yeah. It's a real conversation they're gonna have to have.
Oh, this is a good idea. Get Paxton and Gavin both in the studio when they get.
Oh,
to
we definitely
campus.
have to.
Yeah,
At
we
the
could
same, at
do
the
that.
same
Someone ask
time in the chat.
Yeah.
They'll do
At
it.
the same time.
They'll
Like,
do
both
it.
of the freshman guys.
Yeah,
at
no
the same
doubt.
time.
We can just leave. They would just do their
Yeah.
own show.
Well, Gavin's gonna come on. He's gonna be like, "Yeah,
Gavin
I got
will
nothing
host
else the
that
rest of the night. I'll sit
Yeah.
here all."
School? What school?
I'm excited. Look, we still told you. Just a little sprinkle every time. A little sprinkle of baseball all the time.
Missiles flying.
Missiles flying. Missiles are incoming.
Inbound.
Is there a missile alert?
At some point.
Well,
Soon.
if you want to sprinkle a little more baseball, why don't you sprinkle the new signee? Did you have a new signee?
VCU transfer Ben Napolt. I think that's how he pronounces it. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced.
Well, see, I
Infielder.
don't know much about the new signee.
He had a good year.
I actually spoke to.
Ben?
God, no. What's the new recruiting coordinator? Forget his name. I met him.
Jordan something. His last name's Jordan.
Good, nice guy. He actually was telling me about it. He said,
Where'd you see him?
I was at LSU Friday.
What were you doing there?
Applying for that new open spot in the
No,
in the thing.
he was not doing any of
Oh, you have
that.
someone tell me you're leaving me?
No, I was not
Okay.
applying for any of that. No, was there.
If you're leaving me, like going to.
No. I was there. We kind of got to chat it up a little bit.
Okay.
Talked about the kid coming in, so
What do you say?
liked him. It'd be a good addition to come on. So
I think he's a depth.
I think
piece.
he's going to be able to kind of utility player around because I think he's played everywhere.
Yeah.
I think they liked the fact that they were this late in the game. They were able to get the kid that's
One more.
done what he's done so far.
So it's still JT's spot to lose.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. He's gonna start at either second or short. He's gonna play.
Yeah, just because of what was going on at the shortstop position, maybe even middle infield, it felt like He's targeting a lot of middle infielders, and I understand that a lot left.
And they all left.
Yeah.
Nobody came.
Sad.
The transfers. The middle infield transfers didn't come.
Yeah.
But that's fine, though. Like,
because you would expect, I kind of expected Pineda to sign.
We did. I did not expect
Carter to get 1.3.
Carter to get $1.3 million.
I didn't expect that at all.
He followed me on Instagram. I was like, oh, he's coming. Didn't come.
It's official. Instagram's the official newsbreaker.
Followed him back, too. And,
Did you unfollow him?
No, come on.
I would have.
Relationships for life. It's
So
not
this is gonna
about.
be good.
It's not
Football-
about 4 years.
Hey,
it's about
football
40
usually,
years.
you know what I'm looking excited for with the fans though is because it happened in 2009. Is when we played. Sometimes we had a fall game early in the morning, like on Saturday. Like if it was a night game, we would just have a game, and fans would come to our game, and then leave like right before they were tailgating. So like it was kind of early, and then we would shower and we'd all go out and tailgate. But like the fans would come out, and you have a pretty decent crowd because it was football game or about to be a football game, and then people would go out and tailgate after. It was pretty sick.
Speaking of football games,
That's news to me. I didn't know any.
I mean, it didn't happen. It was like a couple times where it happened. Like we had Saturdays, but and then coach would give us
5 whole beers.
coach would give us Sunday night practice.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Awesome, because he gave us the opportunity to go out and enjoy the tailgating scene.
Nap
and
on the
then
couch.
sleep.
This was Coach once he realized what the culture was here. He wasn't doing that at
He
first.
probably wanted to dabble a little bit.
I mean, maybe, but the thing is I think he realized too, like, man, as much as I want to kind of whip him into shape, it's just not. It's not going to be that productive if I keep doing this.
Yeah, you're gonna get mad at us, and you're just not gonna like it.
It's not going to be that productive.
Throw a bone to us.
This is just part of the culture here, so let me kind of adjust.
And everybody after me and after them, they're all going to do the same thing because this is what we've done since we were 6 years old.
And then it got to the point where he got so lax with the guys that he didn't even have practice on Saturdays. Saturday's off.
Dream.
Saturday's off. Sunday night practice.
Couldn't be here.
Huh?
They couldn't be here. Got big plans on Saturdays.
Big plans.
Big plans.
Big.
Could you imagine if
Something's
Lloyd
cooking.
played college baseball here?
Something's cooking.
Good.
And could you imagine if Lloyd played college baseball here, and then there was an LSU football game on Saturday, and there was a practice on Sunday?
Are we practicing earlier? I'm usually okay hazy in the morning. Don't catch me at like 3 in the afternoon. I can still play a little wobbly-eyed, but don't make me be
No,
full-on hungover.
but as soon as you get that, they're like, "Hey, bro, just
Get out of here.
beat
Done.
it.
No, I'll
Hit the
just
showers, kid."
2 down, and I'm good.
Hey, you're a big throw-up guy.
Big throw-up guy.
Oh,
I'm
God.
not a big throw-up.
Oh, man, I threw up yesterday.
What?
You throw up more than anybody I've ever
I'm worried
met.
about my teeth.
Why?
I'm going to tell you, it's part of not my fault.
Okay.
Wait, I have a,
But we do have
it's
something
probably-
cooking, though.
It's probably not a fair question.
We have something like, it's not just cooking, it is like, it's kind of sizzling a little bit. Like, it is.
Almost time to pull it out the oven.
It's almost time to flip it.
Oh, that's an even better way to put it.
It's almost time to flip it to get the other side, but
It's like a pancake.
when do we announce?
Whenever we get that thing that we need.
Okay.
But
Big things happening
but
for
something's
football
cooking.
season. Something is cooking. It's it'll be a really fun, entertaining thing that we are going to do, and I don't think anybody's done it around here.
Not here.
Around her.
Love to see y'all.
We will see y'all.
Not this close to the action.
But before that, and before you come out and see us and we see you, go ahead and download that Caesars app and use the promo code MMLSU15 and go ahead and try to win your 4 tickets to the Florida State LSU game, which we will be at, and we will be enjoying ourselves with a couple libations.
Dr.
and,
Peppers.
little toddies.
Waters.
Have you heard of flaming Dr. Pepper?
Yes, of course.
It's crazy that you can do that with anything. Flavors are unbelievable.
I know. It's crazy.
Wait,
Science
what's
is
a
nuts.
flaming Dr. Pepper?
I don't know.
Well,
what
they invented it at what was the bar in New Orleans?
Lucy's?
Nope.
Oh.
Keep going.
Oh, you mean like real flames, like real life
So it's a
flames?
shot. I forget
Yeah,
what
yeah.
liquor
Oh,
it's
I
at.
know what you're talking
And
about.
they
Gold.
light it-
No, gold.
No, not the gold mine.
I think
It is a gold
I
mine.
think
It
it
is
is
a
the
gold
gold
mine. It is a
mine.
gold
Yes,
mine.
yes. Went there after a wedding.
So
like,
you have a
this is the
shot
home.
and you light it.
Yeah.
And when you light and you take a shot, and after it
digest.
tastes like Dr. Pepper. Like lighting it, I don't know what the flame like.
I've never
It's
had
good.
one, but I've seen it before.
Dangerous, but it's good.
Yeah, I'm out on those. I'm not taking that.
I've also seen someone do it, being drunk and try to take it too early, spill on them, flames on their shirts. Now I didn't burn them because it was alcohol that was burning, but you wasted your shot.
Yeah.
But
$4.
Party foul.
LSU 15. Back to it. Caesar Sportsbook. Make a bet. Place a bet. Make a bet. Risk free up to $1,500. You will enter to win 4 free tickets to LSU Florida State game. These are really good tickets. They're not just like nosebleed seats. This is like thinking the plaza level tickets. Like these are legit. So if you want free tickets and you want a chance to win free tickets, go ahead. LSU 15. Saints 15 if you want to get some 4 preseason tickets against the Chargers.
Hell yeah.
I mean, why not? Football season, boys. Everybody likes football.
Who doesn't like a nice little?
If
New
not, I'll
Orleans
take
trip?
it. I'll go.
Who doesn't like a nice
I
little?
mean, you're
New
gonna go.
Orleans
You're
trip?
gonna get to watch. Jameis Winston is getting some good reports.
Tweaked his foot today.
Did not. Nope. Nothing serious. He's
Nothing
fine.
serious.
He's fine. He's going probably a little ice and elevate a little bit. Just
He
to
did
be
come
safe.
back to practice.
Huh?
People don't say that. He did come back
He's
to
fine.
practice.
He's fine.
CJ back to practice.
CJ back. Tyrann Mathieu back.
I did see another Jameis report that was like, I don't know if it said full practice or whatever it was, that was like 60+ throws on the day,
Not a single pick.
0 picks.
Yeah, I saw that.
Love
too.
that.
Oh,
None.
just when it gets to air.
No, during the full team period, like 11 on 11.
Listen to what he says. He said full team period.
I thought it was full offense.
No,
Except for Trevor Penning.
This isn't the LSU.
Also,
they're just going down the field.
I'm pumped.
2-minute.
I'm pumped about Trevor Penning.
I find it
I
funny
love
to
that.
record that, but like
What?
content. The drills that LSU does at the beginning of their practice where it's just the offense no huddling down the field against air. People take that so seriously when I post that clip. I'm like, somebody literally said everybody looks good with no defense. I didn't say he looked good. I said he's doing a no huddle drill. I said they all look good. They're at LSU for a reason.
The illiteracy for people, they're just coming at us recently. It's okay,
Look,
you know
everybody
what?
likes it's football.
I think you
season.
do realize that
Dutch awful
drill.
water's
That
back.
drill is so you can actually understand what to
What
do.
you
So
do.
you're not.
Yeah.
So you're not Dak
Right.
Prescott in the end of the game. Like you do realize like that's
Like you
what you're
understand,
for.
like, hey,
when
you
you
get the
catch
ball,
it, you
this
have
is
to
where
get
it
the ball
goes,
back
yes.
to the.
Yeah.
Like that's all part of it.
Everybody's
Well, I know,
line up.
they're just
If
talking
you don't
about
need to be on
they're,
line
like,
of scrimmage, make
nitpicking
sure you
throws
line
and
up so we
stuff,
get ready to
like,
go. Like that's it. It's
Yeah, I mean,
preparation.
Kirk Cousins is in the NFL and he took a knee thinking that would stop the clock. Did y'all see that?
No.
Don't
that-
remember that.
Well, he took a knee at the end of the first half in field goal range.
Do you remember? This I don't know why this has nothing to do with the knee, but remember Reggie Ball from Georgia Tech?
Absolutely.
Remember when he ran out of bounds, and it was the last play. It was 4th down, and he threw the ball. He was running out, and he ran out of room. He just threw the ball away, thinking they had another down. Game over.
Calvin Johnson was down there somewhere.
Yep, he was the same team Calvin Johnson was on.
Fire Oakley Visors.
Reggie Ball, I'll never forget that. I was like, "What are you doing?"
It happens.
And it was like it wasn't like it was a Hail Mary
Is that
either.
is that the biggest like what are you doing moment you've ever seen?
No, taking a knee
No,
was supposed
there's
to
a-
spike it. I've seen it
there's a
twice.
few.
The
The biggest what are you moment? What are you doing moment was the Tennessee LSU game when Les Miles.
Oh,
was in.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
Thank
pretty
God
bad.
T-Bob snapped it.
That was pretty bad.
They
That
were
was
trying
like, what
to
are we doing?
They subbed from goal line package to 5 wide, and thank God he's confused everybody. Tennessee was like, I don't know who to run on, who to run off. They had 12 on 13 on the field, and T-Bob snapped it.
Let's not get into that. That's very bad memories.
Yeah.
We won.
I would say for me probably the
Hopefully this year's Tennessee game's not like that.
No.
yeah.
It'll be close though.
I think it'll be a good game. I think that might be the first, like besides the home opener, obviously everybody kind of shows out for the home opener, but like that first Tennessee home game is going to be the first one where it's like, oh, this might be 100,000 deep.
They're good.
Well, you know why? Because those teams like that on the East that don't come here a lot,
They travel well.
they travel well. Like when Georgia came here that one year, they
Got
Tennessee
embarrassed.
does.
they
That was
rented out the
18.
whole
That was
LSU
18.
golf course.
That was
That's what
18.
they took it.
Tennessee does travel well too, I think.
Was it 18?
Well, also, yeah, that was 2018 that Georgia came. But I also just think
Joe
these teams
Burrow
are going to
took
be
off.
very evenly matched. I think by the time when that game happens.
I just can't wait, man.
It's football
How many
season.
days?
It's
27
this is
or
literally the
26.
only time of the year where every week you're living for one specific day.
Yeah.
And listen, Thursday
They
night.
should make the Super Bowl. Or the
No, I just mean like everybody. Like think about it in a sense of like, hey, I'm either waiting for Saturday. Hey, I can't wait for Sunday for the Saints to play. Hey, I can't wait for Thursday for this game. Like you're waiting for one
The other
day
day-
every week.
This
everybody
Sunday-
still has a chance.
This Sunday, I was
Everybody.
thinking to myself, I was like, damn, like, I'm bored. Like, what are we going to do on Sunday? Like, right now, like, I have nothing. There's nothing on TV. Like,
Oh,
we
my
didn't really have
God.
anything planned. I'm like, what are we doing? I'm like, damn, this is like, there's not many more weekends where I have to think about what am I going to do on Sunday. Like,
Go see.
my Sundays are locked. They're locked in. We're either going to the Saints game or I'm sitting down and watching football.
No disrespect to him, dude.
My
But
wife is not going to be very happy.
I'm tired of pulling up Sundays and watching
Caesars.
the cornhole championships. I just can't do it anymore.
Do you see the Excel spreadsheet championship on ESPN?
Here's my question.
Do it.
Why do we not? And I know it's not a national sport. It is a national sport, but I know they don't televise it nationally. But like, in this time when there's no football during the day, why don't we just have? Why is ESPN full of baseball, of baseball games?
That's
because
baseball's
they all have
fault.
regional contracts.
I know that, but
The
like,
Lily
That's
World Series
baseball's
was
fault.
started.
but like
That's
you
how they
can't.
make
You
so
have
much
you
money.
have Sunday night baseball. Why can't you do Sunday baseball and Sunday night baseball? Why can't you have a doubleheader every Sunday until the football season starts?
Or see, I would push in a different direction. Say, what happened to ESPN Classic when you would get the top 25 college football games of the previous year, and they would count you down 25?
Oh, that's cool too.
That was the best thing because it
They don't have ESPN Classic anymore, right?
I know, yeah. Stump the Schwab ruined it.
I like something. Schwab.
Me too. Got rid of him.
Remember, it was that Santa Schwab, and they had the. It was like the anchor TV series, like where you could be a sports
Dream
center
Job.
anchor. Dream Job.
I used to locked in.
Me too.
That's what I wanted to do. And look at me
crazy.
now.
Crazy. Living your dream job. Jack Besh not in. Hadn't been playing. Fine. Just a little
Shin
banged up.
splints.
Shin splints?
Dog bit him on the
He'll be
ankle.
ready for the opener.
Yeah, but I'd rather watch him on the field before the opener. I like
Yeah.
to get him on there.
Well, the good news is even if he does miss some time, that's
you seen-
the one spot where you can afford to maybe take him out.
Have you seen anybody as far as receivers go? Like you're like, damn, like this guy is like kind of balling out right now. I know it's been early. You've been there, like outside of the usual suspects. Like I think people were forgetting Brian Thomas. Like Brian Thomas.
Yeah,
is
I mean
kind of a
he was on that first team offense today during the no huddle drill. He's a freak athlete.
Yeah, he's a monster.
I think he's gonna turn some heads.
What
more
about
than,
Chris
like,
Hilton?
He's hurt still. He's hurt too.
Track guy.
What does that mean?
Back me up on this.
What does that mean?
I
He tried so hard. It was so bad.
What?
The entire thing was in the shot. What are you talking about?
I covered track and field for Northwestern State, and you can tell when something isn't right. They very much have to be 100% because they always want to run a
their
PR
best time.
or like, and if one thing is off, they're like, my body doesn't feel great. That's what I meant. by
Okay, I didn't know
track
what you
guy.
meant when you said track guy. I didn't know what you meant. Like,
But that's what it is. Like you can tell when they show up, they're like, "Ooh, this is bothering me." It's not really like you can still go, but they're so used to being like, "If I feel 100%, like a record's going down today."
but you're not breaking records on.
Oh yeah, but that's their
speed-wise.
mindset when they ran. He ran track all 4 years of high school and was a state championship all 4 years. Like, it's just something that it feels like is part of their mindset. Where it's like, if I feel right, nobody's touching me today.
Was there a reason that Jared Bernard Converse was not playing? Is he hurt?
He
or
didn't
is
say anything.
They
There
didn't say
was no
anything.
news.
What about Tolles?
Nothing, no news.
Nothing.
Because it was just today was the only press conference today was Den Brock, so he wasn't really talking about defensive guys. And people
Brock
just,
said he
and people just decided to ask him about the stupid quarterback stuff for 30 minutes.
Den
And
Brock
he
said he
wasn't going to
wants-
answer about the quarterback.
He said he wants to have the offensive line done in a week.
He says he wants
By
to
next
find
week?
He says he wants to narrow down the 5 or 6 guys.
He's
Maybe
trying to get Emory Jones in there.
maybe not their positions.
Emory.
He's getting in there.
Yeah,
Tell
that's
me.
what he's
Maybe
trying to
not.
say.
He said maybe not their positions, but he wants to start narrowing it down. It's like these 5 or 6 guys are our best 5 or 6.
Do you
Then you
think?
can kind of flip them around based on how they play.
I feel like
their
they
chemistry.
probably have that, right?
No, because they were talking about Dellinger might play center. He might play guard. You might have Martinez in that same category. Left or right tackle for Frazier or Campbell. I mean, yeah,
I feel like they've plugged in Campbell. at
Campbell will be left tackle,
right?
but like
Yeah, I think he's in there.
Frazier, like they're talking about Frazier playing right tackle or right guard. Basically,
Emory
it's all going to depend on who they pick for the center, and then they'll probably start inside out, outside of Will
Center's a
Campbell.
big position.
Huge.
Like it's like
Huge.
I know left tackle's huge and like center you can't. I mean,
Let's be honest.
center-
If you got a really good center, he's almost literally.
he's your quarterback. He's a second
Yeah,
quarterback.
he's like basically
It
quarterbacking.
sounds
He's
like-
almost basically
Texans.
quarterbacking your quarterback.
Yeah,
It sounds like they're having a center competition, and then whoever doesn't win is just going to move to guard.
and it's between Dellinger and who?
Martinez or Emory Jones.
Oh, he's been working at center too.
Yeah, well, he played that in high school, I think. I think he's mainly focusing on guard, but I think they know he can play center. I think it's mainly between Dellinger and Martinez for center.
Emory would be a massive center. Huh?
Yeah.
That would be. How big was Cushenberry?
He's pretty big.
But I think they're going to work him into a guard.
I think
listen, I'm very excited about our offensive line too. Like I think
especially with Brad Davis.
If I had to guess,
I think it's gonna be deeper than it's been in a long time. I think it's just they're finally gonna feel like there's some continuity. You know what I mean? Like they know what they're trying to do. They don't feel like they're as confused. Like it just feels like. And listen,
but
the season hasn't started yet.
I would say it kind of has for them.
All optimism. What?
I would say it kind of has for them with what you saw with Brad Davis last year, going into how much they got better each and every game. You set the rushing record, which is a hard one to break at LSU against Florida.
And they're more talented. I feel like this year than they were last year.
Are you
offensive line wise?
So O-line's another one where it comes to like. Obviously, it's more than one, but to me, O-line is another spot where I kind of feel like I do about the quarterback position. Like deep. Great, but we all know, like, if you go through a season, usually the best O-lines
no doubt.
Are the healthiest and the ones that stay on the field.
No doubt.
When you're usually having to pull people out and move people around, it's not good.
And that's why I said the continuity thing. Like, I feel like
deep to me is great, but like that doesn't. I would like to see 5 up there and just 5.
And I think that Denbrock probably knows his 5.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying. I think that's another one.
Maybe not.
That's another one where I don't look. And I get, like, I understand, like, he doesn't have that yet, which is fine. It's early as hell, right? But that's another position where I think a lot of people look at it. I'm just like, I don't know if I actually agree with it like that. Just in the sense of like
you don't know if it's an advantage of being super deep. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, but
give me the 5 guys that are going to start.
Yeah,
like, I want 5 guys that are going to start.
I need them playing together every down, knowing each other, knowing where they're going, knowing how to communicate with each other. Not 2 guys coming out. Now we got to tell somebody else who we hadn't talked to in practice because he's been on the second team.
So the first 5 so far in camp has been from left to right: Campbell, Tremont Shorts, Dellinger at center, Frazier at right guard, and Anthony Bradford at right tackle.
I think people forget about Anthony Bradford.
He highlighted Bradford in his presser today because he missed spring ball. That's why nobody really talks about him. He missed spring ball, but he said he's been really impressive throughout the summer and fall camp.
Listen, offensive line to me is a position that if you have guys that can move well, it is a position that you can make the biggest jump from one year to the other based off of your actual coach, right? Yeah. Like based off of your offense. And correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
right? Like
I agree with that.
Just based off of technique, based off of mindset, based off of how you are coached up.
Communication at that spot. Huge.
Yeah. And like, I'm not saying it's easy because it's not. It's just if you're talented and you have the ability to do it, I think that having the one voice that you believe and trust in, like I feel like that's the one position group that like, damn.
Yeah.
Like they can make a huge jump from one spot to. I mean, look at what happened with 18 and 19. Now, I think Joe had a lot to do with that based off of, like, getting the ball out, making the right decision. But still, like, they were the one from not a great offensive line unit to the best in the country.
There's very few spots, I would say, on the field where, like, I personally feel like you should celebrate depth. And I don't think quarterback, in a sense. I don't think O-line, in a sense. I don't even – listen, it's always great to have an absolute stable of them. But I really don't even think running back is a spot that you really want to. Like 2 guys.
Like you're going to play 4?
Like it'd be great to know we got 4 of them that are absolute dogs on campus in the uniform.
Like waiting in the wings.
But 4 of them don't need to be playing. Yeah. You can. I think you can rotate a million receivers if you actually have that kind of talent.
Yeah.
You can rotate a million D linemen if you have that kind of talent. Kind of the same thing with the back half. I kind of want my linebackers to be guys I know.
But D-backs, you can still.
D-backs are the same thing. Yeah, exactly.
To highlight what you were saying about the offensive line, last year in his first season, Brad Davis, LSU only had 1 offensive lineman start every game, Liam Shanahan. LSU used 9 different starting lineups. LSU started the same offensive line in back-to-back games just twice.
So whether that's injury and or performance, like it's really
neither
tough.
of which are good.
It's really tough to be good like that. It just
you have
really
no like. Offensive line is a very they're like a close-knit group on the team, right? Like continuity is a huge thing there. Making sure that everybody's on the same page. Communication is a really big thing. Like communication in the offensive line room and on the offensive line is more important, I think, than almost more important than the communication between the quarterback and everybody.
No, it really is. I mean, just think of it this way: if I'm on the D line and the play says, hey, I'm going to stunt here and you swing around me. Okay, cool. Now be on the other side of it and say, hey, if he shows you here and then he flips, you got to be able to come off of him and I'll get him. to be able to have that communication and see it happen at real time and do stuff like that, man, that's hard to do with dudes you ain't really there with and see you do it and talk to you about
and to
it.
understand your assignment. And I've never played offensive line, but to understand your assignment and to realize that, oh shit, this isn't what we thought they were going to do. They drop back. My guy is no longer in play.
Right.
Now I have the wherewithal or know what I'm supposed to do to be able to help. Like, that's important, right? Like, instead of just sitting there like, who'd I go? Next thing you know, both guys are by you because they just
touch
beat you.
anyone.
Like, oh, fuck, I messed this one up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
that's important. And that's communication. That's playing with the guys. And that's understanding what the guy's trying to do. And it's just, I think it's important.
And knowing those guys' strengths and weaknesses and stuff like that, because it matters, man. It just does.
I couldn't agree more. If you heard Aaron Rodgers talking about it a little bit on Pardon My Take today, whenever he was interviewed, I was listening to it today, but he was talking about
Aaron Rodgers on Pardon My Take?
Yeah, they finally got him. Yeah, and he was talking about the biggest Bear, like, obviously Big Cat, huge Bears fan, but he was talking about what was your favorite win?
What does he do? What's the drug that he actually
ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca.
Which,
that'd be right up his alley. Big throw up.
I don't know if I could do ayahuasca.
Big throw up guy.
Dude, not my fault. I felt like I did it yesterday. It was such an accident. Do we want to get into it? Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Not my fault. Have you heard of? Oh God. I was thinking about it earlier today. I took it last night.
Ayahuasca?
No, but it felt like it because I overdosed myself. It's not Metamucil, but it is something for your brain that's supposed to help you go to sleep.
Oh, melatonin?
No, it starts with an M.
Pretty sure Metamucil is not for your brain.
I know, but for your brain. Yeah, that's got a bunch of fiber in it.
Motrin is like an Advil kind of thing. Starts with an M?
Uh-huh.
Mucinex.
No, that's not good for you at all if you're not sick. Keep thinking.
I'm saying M things.
I don't know.
And what is it for your brain?
It's like it's like
MCT oil.
No. Oh, regardless. Magnesium.
Okay.
So you take magnesium.
Oh, magnesium makes you
explode.
Yes.
If you take too much. And I misread the bottle. It said take a teaspoon. I took a full tablespoon. Good Lord, buddy. All night, and I've never felt better today. I am cleansed.
You cleansed it. Maybe I need to do that. Maybe I need to do that.
Think of ayahuasca because
you were throwing up though, or are you going?
Yeah,
dude.
That sounds like a brutal night, huh?
It was.
I don't want to go. I'll go.
I'm trying to go to bed.
Did you have a colonoscopy too while you were at?
Yeah, that's what they said. Dude, I was literally on the toilet, like, what the fuck did I do to myself? Like, good for the night before colonoscopy. It's like, I'm in for a long one, buddy. Like, I know that.
I'm good.
Misdiagnosed myself.
As long as it's coming out my mouth, I'm okay with it.
It was coming out of both. Trash can.
Yeah, but you're a throat guy anyway. Like, you have a very sweet stomach.
No,
sweet stomach.
Weak stomach.
Thank you.
Let's say, huh? What's that mean?
Weak stomach. So that's not your fault?
I don't have a weak stomach. Well, not my fault.
For a guy who throws up all the time?
Just pull the trigger. Like, you can just feel when something's kind of, it's easier to get rid of it than
How many times you throw up?
More room out than in? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
6.
You threw up 6 times?
Oh, buddy.
Last night?
Oh, yeah. And was on the toilet the entire time.
How many showers you take?
You went both ways same time?
That's what I told myself. I should have just done all of this in the shower.
How many showers you take last night?
Thank God, your plumber would be pissed.
But that's how the document got done. So not my fault.
There we go.
But it was a disaster.
Is that the not my fault you have?
No, that was just I thought I didn't think about it until we started talking about ayahuasca, and I was like, oh, I basically could do it now. I'm ready.
Yeah, right. You should try it. Except for the hallucination part.
Yeah,
you're right.
That's what I want.
What? Okay. So not my fault, which is brought to you by Doe's Eat Place. Our friends that are Doe's. Monday Night Football is going to be Doe's. Yeah, definitely gonna have some food from.
Not my mistake.
I can't wait for that. I like food.
I love
big
food.
Eater guy.
Yeah,
big eater guy. Big
whole
He
pizza
knocks
guy.
out whole pizzas. And he said he couldn't.
Hey, I tried to convince Allie to order Pizza Hut the other day. She was not having it.
No.
I had Pizza Hut
she
today.
want?
She likes Papa John's.
Oh.
What?
Wait, power rank your pizzas.
Of fast food, OG fast foods.
Like
Yeah.
OG fast food.
OG fast foods. I like what do you consider Pizza Hut?
I'm going Mr. Gaddy's.
Pizza Hut. If I go the top, the 3 OGs of Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa John's, in that order.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think I agree with that too.
See, I go Domino's first, but I also go thin crust.
No,
I don't
want to play the semantic
Thin crust
card.
is. I mean, look, thin crust is always good. Like it's.
No matter where you get, but Papa John's does.
But I want the dough, baby. Give me the dough, baby.
Hand tossed.
Give me that hand tossed dough.
No wonder she didn't want Papa John's.
All right, give me the not my fault. I know you don't have one, but you maybe have one.
I do have one.
Okay. I don't see it on there.
My fault, not my fault.
Screen, so I don't think it's in the dot.
Brought to you by Desi.
So this is almost whose fault is it more in this regard? First one up. My two daughters are vegetarian, but my husband and son are not. So I'm a flexitarian. Either I don't care which one I have. I know we'll get through this part. But my son and their father always turn their nose up at vegan food and like tofu. They said it's weird.
Ew.
Long story short, I agree. Long story short, they make 2 pots of spaghetti, saying one is with meat in it, one is with tofu. Turns out both have tofu in them. They didn't know they ate the whole thing. The daughter spills the beans, and everybody, like the father and son.
I hate that. The wife, the mom, whoever cooked it, it's her fault. Don't bamboozle your family about what's in the food and what's not. Don't
My mom
lie.
used to try that sometimes back in the day.
My aunt did it with fish to me.
She used to try that, and then she'd be mad. We'd be like, man, this don't taste the same. I don't really like this.
But they didn't notice until they found out.
Tofu. How do you not notice that's tofu?
I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. You said spaghetti?
Mm-hmm.
So one of them was vegan spaghetti, like tofu?
One was supposed to be meat, but they made both tofu.
That's my point. Like, how do you not notice
ground beef.
Ew.
Oh, man.
I would notice, one, and two, like,
I would definitely.
I'd be mad. I would be mad, especially spaghetti.
Like,
Just imagine if you had a nice long day just hungry.
And want spaghetti.
Oh, man, I just can't
Like, you've
wait
been waiting
to
for
crush
it all
this
day.
spaghetti.
And you get
And I get this
tofu
now.
spaghetti. Are you kidding me?
But that's not the real question. Obviously, it feels like she's in the wrong. On the other side of the coin, for whose bigger fault is it, is a husband has a wedding and his wife is a vegan. She planned to put some vegan options on the menu. When it comes time for the menus to be printed, he goes behind her back, takes all the vegan menu options.
Oh, yeah, that's not good either.
Yeah, that's probably not. Yeah.
I would say.
So her for part 1, him by far for part 2. That's a little more.
Yeah, that's not good.
Sounds like those two guys are made for each other.
Yeah.
That husband move is very, very similar to the the baby move. There's no way you thought that was gonna go good.
But what's the vegan if you're gonna have meat on the menu and you have what's the matter? Like, why would you just not let her have?
Because you could have more meat. You'd have more options.
Who cares?
People
like I said, there's no way you thought that was gonna go good. Like,
I agree.
There's
but
no
I
way.
didn't do it.
You didn't do it.
Not
your fault.
Their fault.
Felt like I did it last night.
That's their fault. That's not good. That's bad on both ends. If I thought I was getting spaghetti and I got tofu spaghetti, I'm not.
But what if you had never known, if they had never said anything?
I mean, I think I would know.
I would know.
I would know. I would 1,000,000% know. My palate is very advanced. I would know.
I'm the same way.
I'm a picky eater too. So
I am too. I am very picky. I know what I like and what I don't like, and and texture is a thing. And I know
I'm
the
huge.
tofu
I'm
texture.
huge. When I say picky eater, texture is like at the top of my pickiness.
I can
So like texture, I'm completely off if it just ain't.
Yeah.
Right.
First bite.
I could see it before. I don't even really need to taste it.
Right.
Like I
No
can
doubt.
see the texture and be like, yeah, something ain't right about this.
No
right
doubt.
here. So yeah, I'm off that.
CSI Jared Mitchell.
Yeah, I'm off
I would
that.
know.
I would have
For
known.
sure. All right. Curtain calls.
Can we go through them?
Curtain calls brought to you by Lance Bill, attorney at law, Lafayette, Louisiana. Shout out to Lance Bill.
Hell yeah.
All the curtain calls. Curtain call to Lance. You go for it.
All right, first one up. This might be a little niche audience, but it's the 18-year anniversary of. Oh, I guess we're saying.
You had him on the whole
I
time?
keep forgetting to take them off.
What does that mean?
The headphones.
The headphones.
Oh, nice. He wears his sometimes for a little bit longer. Anyway, first one up on my end was 18-year anniversary of when Dave Matthews Band pulled their tour bus. Well, not pulled their tour bus over, but they dumped all of their tour bus feces from the tour bus into the Chicago River, hitting a water cruiser that was going underneath. It was, hold on, let me see the amount of feces. 800 pounds of poo on some people 18 years ago today, and they had to pay $50,000 as a sign of good faith. Like, oops, our bad.
I would have sued them as I was a people.
What?
I think that's what they're trying to get in front of, but. Curtain call to Dave Matthews and those people for
you give them a curtain call for putting their poop on someone?
For paying the recompense.
Hey,
just the memory.
Can I ask this question? Serious. This is a serious question. How do you have
800 pounds of poop.
You got an
Take it on
800-pound
tour.
septic tank on the
You didn't.
tour bus?
You didn't clean that. You didn't like clear the septic tank at all throughout
They
the whole
did in
tour.
the Chicago River.
Why would it ever be a good idea to keep an 800-pound septic tank on
They're
a
on
bus?
tour like every
On
day.
a bus, so we gotta get.
Yeah, but you still got like
dude.
you would expect every time you pull to a different stop, they would clean the toilet out. That probably stunk the whole bus up.
That couldn't have been good.
I mean,
Oh
the,
my
the
god!
number one
that'd be
rule
awful.
of the bus is no twos on the
Yeah,
bus.
but when you're on the
I
tour,
guarantee you, Lloyd is a 2 on the bus guy.
No,
At
I
some
lock the
point.
door.
hey, if you're on a bus trip, if you're on a trip, especially in the minor leagues and it's a long trip,
no twos on the bus.
boy, if you do it,
I'm
you're
not a
getting.
two guy.
I'm locking you in the bathroom, and you're sitting in the bathroom
you gotta
the
stay in
entire
there if you
fucking
wanna do-
time.
you're
Because
that
I don't
guy?
want it to happen to me.
Oh, I can't
You
say.
should think more of me. I'll throw up in the bus. I won't poo in the bus.
I mean, that's a selfish move.
So it's such a bad move.
It's a selfish
Selfish.
move.
It's such
Selfish.
a bad move.
I mean, the only no. You say, hey, I gotta pull. You pull this bus over. You go and you pull over, and they say, okay, you have to hold it for an hour. We're gonna pull here, and usually when they pull over, that's when you go and you get some food because it's a long trip, and they say, okay, we're gonna go when they have like Taco Bell and whatever some shit.
just let's
And
keep
then
it
you go, yeah,
like
exactly.
that.
Make it even worse. I'm like, well, this stinks, but that's self. People
Yeah.
do it, and then you're just laying down on the bus and you're sleeping, and you're like,
Ooh.
And once
There-
they do
and-
it gets at least
It
to the middle of the
permeates.
bus, man. Woo.
and you can't sleep.
Not good.
Then you're all up.
Who did it?
Yep. Then you're ripping it. It's just
Oh, did the dominoes start to fall where
Yeah.
everybody's in it?
yeah.
Not my fault.
Oh.
Not good. All right, that's yours. What's your curtain call?
My curtain call today would go to who we presume is Jason Kelsey. I'm not exactly sure it's him, but to anyone that's
I wish
put
you had the
in
video.
his position this
Oh, do you?
year, he went one-on-ones. I guess they were doing a one-on-one drill when the defensive lineman today in practice, and first-round pick Jordan Davis from
Georgia.
Georgia.
absolutely he.
This is the monster.
It looked
This is
like-
a 6'6", 350 pounder.
It looked like
He's an
Jason
athletic
was
freak.
on a Bosu ball
hopping
and then on skates. Like I feel bad for the man. So my curtain call goes to him if that is him.
He's jumping back.
My curtain call goes to him if that is him, and any other O lineman who may be putting that
If
one-on-one
Jason,
situation.
if that is Jason Kelsey and he is getting put on skates, he ain't gonna be the only one.
and if
this
it's not
year.
him, dude, I apologize.
Yeah.
But if you get put in that situation this year, it's probably not where you want to be. So,
And if it's happening to Jason Kelsey, it's going to happen to everybody.
Happen to a lot of
so
people.
my curtain call is to
Both of them.
you, whoever has to make that business decision this year. Good luck, brother. It's not what you
You got
want.
one?
Yeah, the New York Jets. So they have their yearly green and white scrimmage where they like pack out the stadium with their fans and stuff. At the end of it, they have a ball kid named AJ who has stage 1 cerebral palsy, and they did the whole let him score a touchdown, and the stadium chanted his name.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I was like, that's cool. That's curtain.
That's
call.
cool. That's a
Love
good
that.
look.
So
That's a good curtain
not
call.
only to the team, but to the fans that chanted his name while he was
Shut
walking
up.
off the field and all that stuff.
That's
I
a
like
good.
that.
That's a good curtain call.
They brought Sam Darnold back.
You're so stupid. My curtain call is to Michael Papirski. Shout out, first home run. That's something he'll never forget.
Pap.
You know, Pap's he's survived. He's made it up in the big leagues this year, and he's been on I think 4 different teams.
Pap and Kramer. Wow.
Yeah, Pat.
What a season.
Yeah, Pap and Kramer. And then so Pap got his first home off of
Who was? I didn't even see
Corbin
it.
Burns.
I heard it, but I didn't see Corbin Burns, huh?
off a Cy Young winner,
Was he hitting lefty or was he hitting
Yeah.
righty?
lefty.
He was hitting lefty.
So that's
Can't play Major League Baseball stuff.
that is it, huh?
Can't play Major League Baseball
I
stuff.
know, but that is a
That's impressive.
that's a great first homer. It's a good first person to have your first homer on, and he is in Pap's book.
Speaking of Reds, have you seen the Pete Rose stuff?
What?
He went on air and said cockeye fastball and
Uh-huh.
I don't give a shit or something like that. While
He was on air. He had no idea. I don't think he cares, but it was a on-air call. They have him on there for some Reds thing, like Reds Day, whatever. He's there, and they're like, "Oh, tell the story of your first hit." He goes, "Oh, he threw me a cockeye fastball right down the middle." And I look at the manager, and he's like, "Oh shit, this guy can hit!"
Yeah.
And he was just like,
That's
total-
awesome.
Yeah, I know. That's Pete. But it was just a funny story that like the entire booth was just like we can't.
It wasn't this type of setting.
Yeah.
It was a live
It was a
baseball game.
traditional setting.
That's
It was
great,
And
though.
there's a
They
deep
should-
fly by Castellanos.
They should embrace that. That's great. That's great. He should also be in the Hall.
That wasn't the only thing he did, but we'll just
Yeah, I'm
we'll
not
leave the
gonna
other
say
one.
the
Yeah,
other
we'll
one.
leave the other one off.
Oh,
It's not
I'm
good.
not hearing
The other
Look it
one's
up
not
on your
good.
own time.
Okay.
Darling.
Yeah, I'll look it up. I'm on time. Okay.
All
right. Shut up. Great show. I fumbled over the first interview, but it's okay. We got through it.
Good Monday.
Good Monday. Great Monday. We'll be back again on Wednesday. Again, 5 to 7. Not the normal 6 to 8 because Ricky Collins is making an announcement on the Jordy Claus show at 7. So 5 to 7 will probably end a little earlier.
Real suspenseful.
You'll not have Lloyd producing because Lloyd is doing some other work for that day. But appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you watching. You're watching Mik'd. We're brought to you by Starting Automotive. We are live every Monday and Wednesday 6 to 8, except for this Monday 5 to 7. Uncle Earl's 4:30 to 6. All podcast network, Spotify and Apple. Please like, subscribe, share it, tell a friend. LSU 15. Use the Caesar Sportsbook app. Download it. Use the promo code. Make a bet. Risk free up to $1,500. You get 4 free tickets, or you enter to win 4 free tickets. All right. See you on Wednesday.
And for the reason for the special announcement, we will be at Mason's Grill.
For Ricky Collins.
For the Ricky
Not
Collins
me.
show. No.
Jordy Collada show.
Jordy Collada show. But we're going to try to tag team this thing to where it goes straight from Mik'd Up, and if you're on the stream, it will pull you into the Collada stream.
Pull you in, suck you in like the portal.
Yeah, like an octopus.
We'll see it. Technology.
Yeah.
We'll
I'm not
find
making
out.
any promises. I mean, I can't even get the...
You can't get
Yeah.
Right, Right.
All right. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the support. Appreciate all our guests. Appreciate the listeners. Love y'all. We will see you again on Wednesday. Have a good night. Peace.
Good evening.
Good evening.